everyone, and welcome to Flat Cap Euro Talk. It is a Champions League night tonight. It is going to be between PSG and Man City, practically an oil derby, as many have called it. I am going to be joined today by David for this one. It's going to be a nice, relaxed watch along. Just a bit of Champions League action for us, David. You know, practically two of the best teams in the world, we must admit, but also some of the most expensive players on the world on the pitch as well.
Yeah.
Let's just crack through the lineup very quickly before we greet the Harris Army for this one. In goal for PSG, it's going to be Donnarumma, of course, Hakimi at right back, Marquinhos as center back, 4-3-3 shape. It seems to be with Nuno Mendes, who I'm actually very excited to see, the new signing from Sporting, Ander Herrera, the match fixer in years past for Athletic Bilbao, as well as he's also scored plenty of goals this season, I will admit. Idrissa Gana Gueye, who's been absolutely immense in all Champions League performances, Marco Verratti, and then Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, probably what's been advertised. It's what we've all been kind of looking forward to seeing to a degree. And then Raheem Sterling. Jack Grealish is playing a false nine, it seems, of some sort, with Riyad Mahrez at right wing, and then Kevin De Bruyne, as well as Rodri in the middle, and then Bernardo Silva as well playing as the center mid. Joao Cancelo playing as an inverted left back. Aymeric Laporte, Ruben Diaz, Kyle Walker, and then Ederson. Honestly, star-studded lineup, I must admit. But let's greet the Harris Army before David maybe gives his thoughts on this lineup. We do have some people already in the building. We got the David himself saying like and subscribe. Really appreciate you. And he says this game is going to be fire. Yeah, it's probably going to be quite intense. I would say probably lots of flying boots as well, maybe from the PSG players if it's not going to go their way. You know, they know they like a bit of dark arts. Rohan Kumar saying, glad to see Messi and De Bruyne starting. No excuses. You know, this has to be a good game. I would be very disappointed if it wasn't. Kuva99, big yourself up, the comedian of the Harris Army, saying evening all. And he's definitely probably excited for this one as well. Adam saying no better place to watch the oil derby than Flat Cap Euro Talk. Big yourself up, Adam. I do really appreciate that. The best derby, you know, of all oil teams, you might say. Probably the highest level of oil derbies, you might say. Kuva99 saying it'll be nice to watch some proper football played by proper footballers again. Definitely so. Definitely so. Like I said, some of the most expensive footballers as well. Definitely so. And then Chris is up. He's saying big up, David. Kuva. Chris is in the building. He is also saying this is going to be an interesting game tonight. Paro Miguel Escobardo, the legend himself, saying big up the Flat Cap Army, Harris Army, money versus money, oil versus oil. Paro Miguel, big yourself up as well. Thanks for joining us, Paro Miguel. True legend. Hope everything's all right with you. And then Kuva99 saying, I don't know why I keep reading it as Cat Flap Army. Hey, honestly, there are lots of cat lovers, I will say, you know, in the Harris Army as well as the Flat Cap Army. So there's no shame in that. You know, definitely might get your cat a flat cap at this rate, you know, especially maybe Catman Jess as well. But David, you know, I think I'm kind of greeted most of them coming into. It seems like JC is also here in the building. Good to see you. He says, good evening, gentlemen. Good to get a break from that Spurs lot. Absolutely, absolutely. William McKenzie also joining us, as well as Aaron Dubb. Big yourselves all up. David, let's bring up that lineup again right before kickoff. What do you make of this? I mean, it's a 4-3-3 against a 4-3-3. Maybe Jack Grealish as the false nine is kind of the interesting one here. I mean, how do you make sense of this? How do you think this game's going to turn out?
Look, first of all, I want to say thank you so much to all the Harris Army and that, and you know the Flat Cap Army for tuning in. It's really amazing the support you guys are giving us over here. It's really greatly appreciated. In terms of lineup, look, Greenish as the false nine. I don't know how that's going to work out, to be honest with you. Look, I'll be honest with you. I see. I do think PSG should be Man City handy enough. I really do. It'd be interesting to see how Messi gets on. He hasn't really performed as great so far for PSG. Mbappe, I really like Mbappe, to be honest with you. I think his finishing could be improved maybe, but apart from that, I think he has all the attributes, you know, to get to the very top of the game. I think it'd be him and Haaland competing for future Ballon d'Ors. Neymar, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much he dives around, to be honest with you. I look forward to all the dives that guy does put in. But no, look, I'll be honest with you. One player I'm disappointed not to see start is Paredes. I really like him. I really like him in midfield. Idrissa Gana Gueye is in there. That's just to put the legs in and around there. Herrera, you know what job he's going to do in there. He's just going to turn ball over all day long and be a shithouse. So, look, I do think PSG will have too much for City, though, Jack. I really do. I'm going to go 3-1 PSG, you know.
Oh, that sounds like a good game at the end of the day, Dave. I might say, just so maybe I can kind of convince maybe the football gods, to provide me with a good game. I'm going to say it's going to be kind of a boring 1-1, and then maybe they'll just spice it up to something like a 3-3. But there's some more people joining us, and really do appreciate everybody for joining us for this watch along. Really do appreciate you, Flat Cap Army, as well as Harris Army and Irish Hotspur Army, of course. Pete from the lane saying, big up, lads. Looking forward to the stream. Big yourself up, Pete. Really, again, thank you for joining us. Chris saying, David and Jack, I'm a lot calmer tonight. Not even thinking about Spurs. Chris, same here. I'm a lot calmer tonight as well, buddy. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, Chris. Like I said, always relaxed here over at Flat Cap Euro Talk, especially for these ones. Derek Hutchinson is in the building. Big yourself up, Derek Hutchinson. Good to have you. And thank you for joining us as well. And then David saying, Jack, I hope you had a good night rest after that long one last night. No, honestly, I was probably just a little bit hangry, I will admit, just kind of a bit hungry. Me and the missus were, due to make some homemade carbonara. And the missus was probably giving me some dead eyes, in the corner saying, when are we going to make this thing? Especially we were making it for the first time together as well, David. So you know how that is. It's not like we were even very familiar with the recipe or anything. And so she was just a bit concerned that we'd be making it, till 11 o'clock at night. But thankfully, we were able to finish it a lot earlier than I expected. And so I think that's all it was just I got a bit hangry and I took it out on Alex. I apologize to Alex, but at the end of the day, he and I are good buddies. So it really is no hard feelings at all. But also as well, I just felt like, I needed to defend also the Harris Army and the Irish Hotspur Army as well, because there's no reason to say that people's opinions are shit, in my opinion. But anyways, really, I'm all doing a lot better as well. I just had a very spicy lunch. Speaking of food again, my mouth is actually on fire if you can't tell. But really, everybody, big yourselves up for joining us last night. It was a very therapeutic show at the end of the night. It was a very therapeutic show as well.
Did you use pancetta or bacon in the carbonara?
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave, for asking me here. I actually, instead of a pancetta, which is, kind of the most common, I think, of kind of meats to use for it, I use something called a guanciale, which is something that you can only get, I think, at very specific Italian markets. I went to a place called Italy, which is in Manhattan with the missus like about a week ago, and then got some fresh homemade pasta. Got some nice guanciale. It was honestly absolutely delicious. I'm excited to make it again. Excited to make it again. Hopefully I don't have too many mouths watering for this one, but honestly, it really was delicious, everybody. I'm very glad I got to do it because the missus, again, would have had me eating it out of the dog bowl if I waited any longer. So really appreciate everybody for letting me leave last night a bit early from the fan show. But things have kind of kicked off here. Seems like Man City are kind of pressing PSG a bit in their own half. I would say, maybe get some score predictions from everybody in the chat. Well, maybe David and I might discuss how I see this game going. But Kuva99 saying, I think City are back on it now, 2-1 to City. And maybe that's a bit of a conversation starter there. He seems to have a bit of confidence in City here.
Jesus Christ, what is that, Messi? Jesus.
Messi is also as well has not started off on good form at all when you think about it.
Shh.
Oh, yeah, geez, that was horrible.
That's not Messi, like. You never see Messi doing that.
He's very off his game. So I haven't really watched much of PSG this season, but apparently he's been a bit off of his game.
He's been poor.
Yeah, he's been poor. So it's quite interesting, I would say. I don't really have an explanation for that, considering that, well, I'm not really as much of a Messi fan, and undoubtedly for me, the best player in the world, debatably even the best player of all time as well. And so I am quite surprised to see that he hasn't started off things well. But it is a ball inside the box, going into Raheem Sterling, which is a bit scary there. I will say, like I said, Man City are pressing PSG in their own half. PSG are finding it very difficult to get out of their own half.
Yeah, they are, bro. It's because the front three can't link up yet as far. It's three individuals. Poch is going to find it very hard to get the three of them to come together for the one cause, like he did, with Son Kane and like Dele Alli, Christian Eriksen. He's going to find it very hard because they all want to be the star of the show. Does Kylian Mbappe even want to be at PSG? A lot of questions there. But look, Pochettino's the only man I know that can get away with taking off Messi, and getting the call right as well. He took him off in the last game. Messi was crying, but PSG ended up going on and getting the winner in that anyway, so it doesn't matter. But here's Messi again. He cuts in. Let's see what he can do. And he's crap without all his Barcelona teammates doing all this stupid little 5-yard movements.
Yeah, they almost kind of wait for him to do something a bit similar to Barcelona, you might say. But here's Nuno Mendes.
Oh, my God.
Something happened.
Wait until you see this touch by this idiot.
Oh, Nuno Mendes. Come on, son, especially in front of the PSG faithful as well. Come on, especially. I think a Champions League debut for him, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he played in that Club Brugge match. I'm not quite sure. But this could be a very interesting game, I will say. I think someone, William McKenzie, welcome to the building. He says, I like bacon in mine. Deli meat can be pricey. Yeah, believe me, the guanciale that I bought was quite pricey. But that was because it was a bit of a special occasion, that for me and the missus, we just wanted to make something a bit more Italian looking than, maybe a normal kind of cheap man's carbonara. But I think next time we still have a bit of that pasta left. We used all the guanciale, but we still have a bit of that pasta left. So we might just use bacon for the next time that we make it for sure, or even a bit of pancetta. But do let me know, William McKenzie. I think bacon works just fine, but was actually quite happy with the guanciale. It's not really totally worth it for the price, but certainly had that authentic taste for sure. Certainly had that authentic taste. And Aaron Dub saying there's a Burger King type restaurant in Australia.
Oh, how's Neymar not shot there? Oh, it's your guy. Is it? Or is it Gay? I think it's...
It must be. Might be Drissagana Gay. It's a Drissagana Gay, the absolute legend himself. The absolute legend, I will say. Yeah, actually, I've always rated him. He's actually been, honestly, he's unbelievable. He really is unbelievable. Top finish as well, to the top right hand, actual top bins as well from a Drissagana Gay. And PSG are up from a very unlucky deflection by Man City, but that's probably how PSG maybe attack most teams. When you think about it, they definitely will take advantage of those. But Aaron Dubb saying something about a Burger King here. Hungry Jack was all. I'm not so sure what he really means by it, maybe. But Aaron Dubb, big yourself up. The Smashers joining us. Big yourself up the pasture. He says, I hope PSG wins the Champions League because of Poch. Yeah, but then when you think about it, if Poch wins it, then, maybe there's no future, Poch, I would say return, you might say. You actually, to a degree, maybe want him to maybe fail at a certain point just so he could reconsider coming to Spurs. But do let me know what anybody thinks of that theory in the chat. But everybody, it is 1-0 up to PSG, and I do have to edit the banner now since people will be joining us and want to check in on what what's happened here. And it is 1-0 PSG, Idrissa Gana Gueye goal.
I don't know about you, Jack, but PSG's midfield just doesn't look right for me. If you just look at the shape of it and that when they're attacking and that, I don't know, and defending, it doesn't look right to me.
Maybe not so. It seems quite defensively solid, if you ask me, Dave. I mean, Idrissa Gana Gueye, Marco Verratti, under Herrera, especially under Herrera this season, has been honestly immense for them. He scored, I think, more goals than any other PSG player, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really a PSG expert, so pretty much everybody can, they probably know more than I do in that regard. So I'm not so sure, Dave, but maybe you're right. Maybe it is kind of a midfield that can be easily bypassed, if that's what you mean.
I want to see Hakimi flying down the wings, Jack. One of my favorite players, that Hakimi.
Best fullback in the world, pretty much. I think it's honestly commonly agreed at this rate. He is the best right back in the world, Hakimi. I think for a lot of reasons, obviously, just for his forward thinking, his forward ability, but also as well, he is absolutely immense, tracking back, and he's improving his defensive game, I would say, every year. He's practically a Kyle Walker who is on the pitch. He's a Kyle Walker with techers. He's a Kyle Walker with a bit more of an attacking genius, you might say. But yeah, I mean, Hakimi, I think, is undoubtedly practically at this rate the best fullback in the world.
I have to say, he's done well since he came through at through the Real Madrid ranks, though. He came through at right back for Real Madrid. He played well there for a while. Filled in for Carvajal and that when they had injuries, and then got his move to Inter. He done well at Borussia Dortmund. He done well at Borussia Dortmund. He progressed, got his move to Inter, and then off to PSG. His career has only gone up and up and up in such a short space of time as well. He's a very good player.
He probably didn't think to be at PSG so soon. It's just had to do with Inter not being able to really afford his wages or even affording the fee, really, that they actually were agreed to have paid to Borussia Dortmund. So it is quite funny.
Neymar, that's 2 or 3 times Neymar's got angry at your man Mendes at left back for not giving him the ball. He's throwing his arms up every time he turns away from giving him the ball and everything. Oh,
not so sure how to explain it. At least in Neymar's case, we all know that he doesn't really like to, be denied the ball at all. He certainly likes it even probably more than Messi does. But Mbappe at the top of the box here finds a bit of space, and it's not really anything to fruition. But now it seems like PSG are seemingly kind of dominating Man City to a degree, which is, I would say, not what I expected. I kind of thought maybe Man City would be very, very pragmatic with the ball, being very, very possession based. But to be honest, I mean, with the skills that PSG have, they can hold on to the ball quite well. Lots of players on the pitch that, are almost incapable of losing the ball, is what I would say.
PSG, though, getting a bit sloppy on the ball here in that partner play. 2 or 3 or 4 loose passes there where players were stretching to get onto it, and that they need to be a bit more not carefree, but they need to take a bit more care of the ball. I have to say I'm pretty surprised by Man City so far. They just seem they're very condensed defensively, and then when they do get the ball and turn it over, they're finding it hard to get up the field.
I mean, I would say in PSG's case, they might, be able to continue to warm up into the Champions League. The pressure, eventually will probably kind of subside or succeed to them, and then they'll be able to kind of handle themselves a bit more. But that Club Brugge game, I will say, very, very concerning. And 2 players in particular for Club Brugge who gave them a lot of trouble, Renaud Lang and Charles de Ketelaere. Those 2 guys are absolutely tearing apart their defense. So I am kind of a bit worried about PSG if a team like Club Brugge can really find them out. But maybe
Ed Sheeran in attendance.
Ed Sheeran, it seems to be making every single match at this rate. Seems to be a good football fan, Dave.
Yeah, he loves a bit of football. Let's see what Messi can do.
I think he's a Scouse, though. Or is he a Man United fan? I'm actually not sure, Dave.
I haven't a clue who he supports, lad, to be honest with you. All I know is he writes some good love songs, lad.
Writes good love songs, especially when, maybe speaking of cooking, maybe earlier, good songs to maybe cook with the missus, I would say, Ed Sheeran. But yeah, maybe people know his club. Maybe people in the chat can let me know, but I'm actually not sure what team he actually supports. Maybe he keeps it secret.
Disrespectful, Neymar.
And Neymar, as much as I hate the guy, he really is absolutely immense on the ball. I mean, he is ridiculous. He is ridiculous.
The rainbow flick. Oh, lad.
I mean, sometimes when we think what Tanguy tries to get away with, against players, Neymar, it takes it to a whole new level, Dave.
Do you remember the time he got booked in France for doing too much skill? The referee booked him for disrespecting the opponents.
It's probably because, the opponents, Dave, they would actually, the referee's thinking like, well, they're probably allowed to, 2-foot lunge at him. They're allowed to take him down if he's doing things like that. And the referee's just thinking like, listening, you're just making my job a whole lot harder. That's probably what he's probably saying to him. I need to warn you because you're making my job a whole lot harder. Pep Guardiola here, though, someone who's definitely struggled in the Champions League, seems to always make it out of the groups quite easy. Pep Guardiola, but at the same time, has struggled in the final stages or in the knockout rounds. And PSG as well, kind of 2 teams, actually, when you think about it, despite this being an oil derby, Dave, 2 teams that have kind of just always seemed to, in the final moments or in the final match, kind of struggle, and not able to live up to their potential in the Champions League.
Jeez, PSG living very dangerously there, and they don't seem to want to clear the lines at all. Yeah, look, PSG, I think it is only a matter of time. They're knocking on they're knocking on the door anyway, Jack. They are knocking on the door, to be fair. They're thereabouts, lost the final and that. But look, I'll be honest, if they don't win it this year, then they're never going to win it, Jack. You look at the talent that Sergio Ramos isn't even in this lineup at the minute, Donnarumma, best goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion. Hakimi, probably up there with one of the best right backs in the world, in my opinion. I think they paid for Hakimi. Well, they paid for Hakimi, I think. Donnarumma was a free. Sergio Ramos was free. Messi was free. Wijnaldum not in the team there tonight. He came on a free. You know what I mean? The amount of business they've done is unbelievable. Imagine most of it free as well. Unbelievable business. Honestly, I say Poch. Poch, I'd say, imagine that he's gone from like Harry Winks and Moussa Sissoko in midfield, to having Wijnaldum, Paredes, Verratti, you know what I mean? Players of this ilk to pick from, Herrera, Gay, all these players to pick from. Then even you look at the attacking talent, Neymar, Mbappe, Messi. I'd say you can't believe his luck.
No, he certainly can. I would say as well, at least in every position in the park, he has one player that you might even argue is one of the best players in that position in the world. Obviously the front 3 we all know are some of the best players in the world, but in midfield, Idrissa Gana Gueye, I really do rate. I do think he's one of the best holding midfielders in the world. I would also say as well, Marco Verratti on his day can be brilliant. And then you also think about the defense. I think Marquinhos' day for me has always been fantastic.
I love him.
Absolutely immense. So you do. And then Now, when you also think about it as well, Dave, the two fullbacks that they have also, Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, are some of the best up and coming fullbacks in the world as well. So, I mean, he has only a plethora of talent to deal with, but maybe that might be too much for him. Maybe that might be
still have Danilo, Jack. Do they still have Danilo Pereira?
I think they do. The very old Porto player. I think you're referencing. He's actually someone that I think is a bit on the out at the moment. It's probably not even getting any play time, but he's also had decent performances for them. At least against Bayern, he had a very good performance. I remember.
PSG,
I will say PSG really do not want to clear their lines, Dave. Kind of like me when I play against you in FIFA. I really try to not clear my lines in these situations, and I usually get punished, for it. But always trying to be a bit too clever. Usually when I'm kind of playing around in the back here, but I would say PSG are doing more or less the same what I would do in FIFA. It's actually probably quite fitting that they're playing it like FIFA when you think about it, Dave.
They will end up catching themselves out, though, Jack.
Certainly, especially the way Pep Guardiola presses. When you think about it, this is exactly how Man City want them to play. They want them, to build out from the back. They want them to try to do this against them, and you're probably right. Man City will punish them at a certain stage.
Like, the thing is, PSG are well able to play through it. It's just their passing and their touches. Some of their touches have been very sloppy from the off here tonight, and that's why they're causing their own problems here.
JC saying that Ed Sheeran's actually an Ipswich Town fan. There you go. I really appreciate you, Harris Army. I really appreciate you, Flat Cap Army, for informing me on that. Now I know. You learn something every day, and that's a bit egregious there, ref, on Jack Grealish, but. Okay. Wow. Looking at the replay of that, I don't know how that isn't a foul. But at least, Dave, after watching that Borussia Mönchengladbach Dortmund game, we at least know that it can get a whole lot worse than that, with the referee, for sure. But there you go, Ed Sheeran, the Ipswich Town fan at the end of the day.
The Tractor Boys. That's what they're called. The Ipswich Town, the Tractor Boys. No, it is. That's their nickname.
Did not know that, Dave. Don't know too much about them, but I know quite a historic club, or at least, one of the older, I think, founding father kind of clubs, if I'm not mistaken.
You know what, Jack? I remember them in the Premier League back in the day. They used to have Darren Bent's brother. Was it Marcus Bent? Used to have him playing up front, and I remember Ipswich Town in the Premiership back in the day.
I thought you might have been referencing Darren Bent. That's the one that
Darren Bent is the one that played for Spurs, but he had an older brother. I think it was Marcus Bent. I think that was his name. He used to play for them up front.
There you go. Someone saying, David saying, not just a sponsor, he's a part owner, apparently. There you go. Well, it makes enough money to be a part owner of Ipswich Town, for sure, you would think. Definitely has enough money to be able to at least have some sort of stake in the club. Big kind of Ryan Reynolds-esque, you might say. Killian Kenny, big up yourself. Welcome to the Champions League watch along here. Maybe just sit back, relax, watch it with us, enjoy it. We're just talking a bit of Man City, talking a bit of PSG, trying to be a bit therapeutic here. Maybe just talk about other things apart from Spurs, maybe occasional Spurs references, of course. But, at the end of the day, we're just trying to maybe take our minds off of the football that we were witness to on Sunday and just watch maybe the most expensive, most oil-covered players in the world, play against each other.
You'll see all the oil prices going around on the advertising boards now in a minute.
That's the sponsorship itself. It's just the oil pricing. Yeah, Dave, for sure. Mara's here cutting inside, plays it up to Rodri. Rodri plays it wide to Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish at the top of the 18. Cuts inside. But again, Jack Grealish may be looking for something a bit there. But these are missed tackles, I would say. The referee is maybe just not giving Jack Grealish anything. But at the same time, I would say I don't really know how that isn't a foul, considering didn't get anywhere near the ball.
I have to say, Man City are getting into the game a bit now, Jack. They're starting to get a bit more possession.
Yeah, and also that ball that they just tried to put in, that Nuno Mendes cleared from Joao Cancelo, that was actually a delicious ball, actually. Joao Cancelo, that guy just terrifies me, Dave. He just, every single time, he puts in a spectacular. I've never seen him put in a bad ball in my life, Joao Cancelo. I don't know how he does it. He just always knows how to be able to put in a decent ball into the box. For my draft Premier League fantasy team, I've always selected him just because he's just stupid with the assists and the chances that he can create. I would say, actually, maybe when I think about it, might be a bit contentious here, but to a degree, sometimes I do rate Joao Cancelo more than other fullbacks. Even I might even does he compare with Hakimi? Probably not, but I would say maybe Joao Cancelo is probably the next best fullback in the world, in my opinion.
We'll have that game tonight, Jack. Joao Cancelo up against Hakimi. We'll have that game tonight, and then we'll let the Harris Army know the answer.
Definitely, Dave. But what do you think? I mean, Joao Cancelo, of course, it's a Man City player. You don't want to rate him too highly, Dave. But what do you make? What do you make of that comment? Maybe one of the next best
Oh.
fullbacks in the world.
Do you know what? He was very, very highly rated at Valencia. Gary Neville, when he was manager there, I know he spoke on him saying he's a very, very good player. Do you know what? I don't know, to be honest. I don't really watch too much of City because I'll be honest, I don't really watch too much of any Pep's teams because they bore me to death with how much they pass the ball.
Yep.
I'll be honest with you.
No, they don't really produce very exciting games, maybe other than the Champions League.
Like, the thing is, when you have that many other players, like when you have that many good players at your disposal, just go and, like, you know, play good attacking football and kill teams. You know, it just gets boring, especially at Barcelona, that whole tippy-tappy, whatever you want to call it. You know, that was really annoying, you know, watching them pass the ball around for 40 minutes and then go and score one. And it's like, well, you could have been 8-0 up by now going, you know, just go and attack teams. Like, I just think Pep Guardiola's brand of football is very boring. But, like, don't get me wrong. Look, he's changed the game in a way, you know, to a more keep the ball on the deck sort of game, which I prefer, you know, being a baller myself, Jack, with all the skills that I possess. You know, I prefer the ball to be kept on the ground and stuff like that. But, yeah, I'll be honest, I just find Pep's teams very boring, like, you know, especially with some of the players he's had to manage over the years.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've never really been a big Pep fan. I just kind of don't really appreciate maybe some of my favorite players, I will say, especially Samuel Eto'o is one of my favorite players of all time. Don't really, you know, once I found out Samuel Eto'o, really didn't like him, doesn't really appreciate him, and even found him, I think, at one point to be even a bit racist. So I heard. You know, I think it's just that was enough for me to not really like the guy. And then as well, even at Bayern Munich, I really didn't like the job that he did there. I also don't really like how people seem to gloss over maybe how poor of a job he did there, especially in the Champions League. Like, he just got embarrassed time in and time out with Bayern Munich, and that's really not what they stand for, especially when maybe the teams that he had. He also took over that Bayern Munich team that had just won the Champions League, the treble, and then even had won, you know, the World Cup as well with Germany, you know, I think that season or whatever it was. And so German football was practically at the top of its game. And then somehow, you know, the moment he took over Bayern, it just came crumbling down again. So I think it's just, for me, he's never really proved enough to me, as much as he is kind of a flat track bully in every league that he's played in. And as much as he's quite good in a lot of the leagues, I just find him not to be very impressive in the Champions League, in my opinion. But maybe a lot of people, it's not really a very commonly held opinion. So I'm quite okay with a lot of people disagreeing with me in that case. But wow, that's a beautiful pirouette from Messi, I will admit.
Let's give a few more people a shout out. We have Ian Harper in there. We have Chris Agambar. All big yourselves up. Chris
Agambar, welcome to the building. Really nice to see you as well. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're maybe able to relax for this one. You know, it's an 8:00 kickoff. Maybe by now, maybe you're off work, you know, just enjoying yourself, had a bit of dinner in front of you, maybe a beer, whatever you're drinking, you know, and just, you know, enjoy yourself as well, because at the end of the day, this is, you know, oil derby football. You know, it's not really meant for everybody, but it definitely is going to be meant for the ones who do like to enjoy maybe a bit of high quality football as well. Let's see who else has just joined us. Ian Harper, really big yourself up. Thank you as well, also for, again, you know, being very knowledgeable on Ed Sheeran, for sure. Really do appreciate it. He also said Ed Sheeran is a sponsor, which is actually I didn't know as well. You know, there you go. You know, it sponsors the kits, Dave.
That'd be a goal of ours, Jack, you know, to get Flat Cap on one team and Irish Hotspur on the other team as a sponsorship, man. That'd be
maybe on either sleeve of the Spurs shirts, Dave. Maybe on either sleeve. And even we would have to wait till the next manager, or even Nuno, I would say, you know, gets that nice flat cap, you know, from the Irish Hotspur himself, the Irish Hotspur approval, as you might say. With the
look, get that red AIA off the front and get the green, white, and gold, the Irish Hotspur on the front, lad. You know, and then hashtag Flat Cap Army underneath, lad.
What must Harry Kane watching this match be thinking? Probably is thinking, you know, seeing Jack Grealish play and Raheem Sterling playing, you know, the striking positions or playing the striker, you know, he probably is quite upset. But at the same time, you know, Pep Guardiola seems to be a guy who almost practically detests strikers. He really doesn't he doesn't like strikers.
Kane probably rang Pochettino, Jack, and he was like, please absolutely spank them tonight so they have to come back in for me. Oh, how has that not gone in? Off the bar twice. Oh my God, that is shocking, Jack. You say they don't need a striker to put that in.
Oh, there's no way that Bernardo Silva missed the follow-up. How did he miss the follow-up? He must have. I don't even know how he missed that follow-up, Dave. That is shocking. That is shocking. Yeah, like you said, off the bar twice, Dave. And then also even came down to him again. you still didn't know what to do with it. He actually just missed it entirely. Seemed to have whiffed it. Bernardo Silva with a huge opportunity there. Huge opportunity. Don't know what happened there.
I'll pause this so hopefully I'm a bit more in time with you.
Appreciate you, Dave.
Oh, Sterling. Good header, to be fair. Bernardo Silva got lucky. I don't know how he didn't put that one in. And then he got a second bite at it and then missed it again. Oh, my God. That's shocking.
Wow. I guess it was a bit high for him, but he seemed to have slipped, Dave, here. He seemed to have slipped as he was going for it.
Jack,
but how does he even miss the follow-up? How does he miss the follow-up as well? Yeah, I just don't even understand. Don't even understand that. William McKellen's saying long ball style football isn't always bad. Just need quality pass and proper target men. Yeah, like I always say, Chris the Goat Wood is maybe someone that we should have maybe taken a look at if we wanted to beat Arsenal. We probably should have put Chris Wood in. Maybe someone we could have looked at over the summer. Spurs 72 saying, evening, Jack and David. Hiya, chat. This may be Pochettino's year for league and Champions League double. Absolutely. Spurs 72. Especially he needs to win the league, because considering that Lille, won it last season, and PSG, they're going pretty well so far in terms of the league, but definitely needs to win the league as well as the Champions League. There's practically no room for error, for Pochettino. I definitely agree, Spurs 72. And also, thank you for joining us, Spurs 72. Real legend as well. Appreciate you for joining us. Jason Bell also in the building saying, how did they not score? I have no idea, Jason Bell. Absolutely no idea. Again, watching it again, you had two opportunities to be able to follow it up, Dave.
Oh, shocking. It's shocking. Honestly, you could have thrown your lad at that and that would have went in. Honestly, absolutely ridiculous miss. How much is he on? That's shocking. That should be. Look, I can accept footballers making a mistake, but Jack, he's less than 6 yards out. On both attempts.
He's completely in front of the line. I mean, he's just sitting right in front of the goal line, Dave. I really don't know. I mean, you can hit it with your nose. You can hit it with your nose, hit it with your knee, hit it with your hip, hit it with any body part you like, Dave. At that rate, if you're right in front of the goal like that, you just swing anything at it that you can. Hurt around from the ground. We got our, it's almost like our correspondent, on the sidelines here, Dave. Para Miguel Escobarda saying Milan 1-0 to Atletico. Love to see that as well, but I would say, do let me know, Para Miguel, how's Diego Simeone's suit looking? I always love his suits, the all black suits, the cloak and dagger football, as I like to say. He's always hiding a dagger under one of those suits. That's what I would say, Para Miguel. So do let me know how he's doing. Do let me know how the suit looks.
Liverpool are 1-up at Porto as well.
Yeah, I kind of predicted that. I was on Statman Dave this morning, Dave, and I predicted that to be a 3-0 this morning. So, I didn't. It's unfortunate, but I do see them probably winning this one and taking it quite handily, Liverpool. And Derek Hutchinson saying, Jack Nicky, the stats and tactics, as always. And also, everybody, do stay tuned later as well, because Dave and I will be doing a kind of a what went wrong at the North London Derby, a bit of kind of maybe something similar to what maybe you unfortunately saw Jamie Carragher do for Match of the Day. We're kind of going to do our own version of it to the best of our ability. So do stay tuned for that. It's going to be at 10 o'clock your guys' time in UK, 5 o'clock my time in New York. So do stay tuned for that one. It's honestly, like I said, it's like a Match of the Day explanation, for what went wrong in the North London Derby. So please join us for that if you can. Golden Cock also in the building. Yeah, Dave.
I have to say, you actually put some great animations for it, and honestly, you guys will be able to see an awful lot from the animations on what actually happened in the North London Derby. So make sure you do get over to the Irish Hotspur at 10 o'clock for that, guys. It's very educational, I have to say, Jack. Very educational.
We pick and choose our educational shows for sure, David. We pick and choose our educational shows. We try to stay as educational as possible, but at times we also have to realize that we got to do the nice debates. Sometimes a bit of also the humor and comedic side as well. The Irish Hotspur, we try to hit every single pot as we can. We try to hit every single category of football analysis. But definitely so, David. Definitely so. Golden Cock saying.
I was just going to say, it's not even going to be a long one tonight, guys. It'll be 45 minutes to an hour at most, maybe an hour 20, the very most. It's not even going to be that long tonight, guys. So, definitely stay tuned. You'll be coming away from it absolutely mind-blowing. Your socks will be off the feet. But that's only because Jack has rocked your socks off.
Appreciate it, Dave. And yeah, just like David said, it's not going to be a super long one compared to maybe that absolute marathon that we had last night in terms of the fan show. So it is just going to be nice and short. Unless you guys want us to stay a bit longer for it, we'd be happy to do it. But just going to be a nice bit of a short explanation, maybe just to kind of wipe our hands clean in North London Derby, you might say, just to wipe our hands clean of it. Golden Cock saying, big up, guys. Just tuned in. How's the game going? Got to be better than watching us, I'm guessing. Certainly is, I would say, to a degree. But now it just happened that Joao Cancelo had shown the replays of it, but he had almost like an outside the foot kind of swing at the ball right at Donnarumma. Donnarumma impressively caught it with both hands, and it's 1-0 to PSG at the moment, Golden Cock. And they had a very, I would say, not really very pretty goal by any means, a very, very lucky deflection, but Idrissa Gana Gueye made the absolute most of it. And he also really knows how to get up and down the pitch, that guy. I really do rate him. But
does Mbappe not know what the offside trap is? Does he not know what onside is? No.
I think he's more often offsides than he ever is onside. It is quite funny. He just seems to take advantage of it at all opportunities, Dave. He really does seem to take advantage of maybe the referee making a mistake.
Oh, there's my man Paredes. Oh, look, his hair is beautiful.
David, maybe while I just highlight a couple more comments, welcome people into the building. Leandro Paredes, maybe because we, at our channel over at the Irish Hotspur, we are a huge fan of the dark arts, Dave. Maybe you can explain why you like Leandro Paredes and maybe why you might be disappointed why he's missing.
Yeah, do you know what it is, Jack? And I think he'd be perfect today in the midfield, especially like winding up the City players, because he's one of them players, right? He's just such a shithouse. He's always putting in like nasty challenges, always like winding players up, doing like, pulling jerseys back and everything else. But somehow, tends to stay on the pitch, which I absolutely love. And the thing is, it's very hard to get away with the shithousery stuff and the tackles he gets away with in an era where there's VAR and they're watching everything compared to they used to be. And I just love how he's managed to incorporate the dark arts into the VAR era and still get away with it as much as he does. I think he's absolutely brilliant. Every time he goes in for a tackle as well, Jack, he's going in to hurt the player, which is what they used to do in the old days. You used to go in to hurt the player and take the ball. And I have to say, once you start doing that, people tend to not want to try and dribble by you. So a lot of the people that come up against him tend to pass it off because they know they don't want that tackle. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I love him. And then just even some of his tattoos, the way he puts his hair.
Yeah, he's got nice tats.
He has that cheeky little look on his face where you just know he's a shithouse. You know if like there's a prank in the dressing room, he has some way of being involved in it. And you can tell just by him smiling. He's one of them guys. I love him.
Yeah, somebody probably leave maybe a thumbtack on the chair kind of guy, you probably would say, kind of person. ATX7 Gaming saying, big up Jack and David. We were once in this competition, missed those days. Yeah, this is kind of why even, the Flat Cap Euro Talk is here for you guys, maybe just for us to kind of, be able to still get our Champions League kind of, our Champions League kind of a thirst, still quenched to a degree, even though it's not going to be with any teams that, of course, maybe we might support. But at the end of the day, Champions League football is always impressive to watch, always lovely to watch. And again, heard around the ground, Dave, our correspondents on the touchline here, William McKenzie saying Milan red card apparently, and Kessie is off, Dave. Kessie is off. So there you go. They are 1-0 up though. And also I will say, how many times have I seen this season where in an Atletico game this season, every Atletico game, I've seen a red card on the score sheet of some kind. It actually is brilliant. Like I said, Diego Simeone football, cloak and dagger football, there's always going to be something that goes wrong for either Atletico or for the other side. It's almost like red card, almost guaranteed at this rate, I would say. Shamu saying Sheriff is even beating Real Madrid at the moment, unless maybe he's predicting that. But I went for a 1-1. I did go for a 1-1. And as well, the Sheriff explanation or the Sheriff explained story, Dave and I are just doing, as much research as we can on it, because actually it is a fascinating team. And if they even pulled off a Real Madrid defeat as well, that would just be unbelievable. I mean, this team is absolutely ridiculous, Dave. And even, some people are saying, they might even make it out to the next round. They might even make it out to the knockouts, which just would be absurd if they were to do that. That would be insane. But everybody, Sheriff FC, remember the name.
I'll give you the scores from around the grounds, Jack.
Appreciate it.
So, of course, PSG 1-0 up here. Idrissa Gana Gueye goal. RB Leipzig and Club Brugge, it's 1-1. Nkunku scoring for Leipzig and Van Aken for Club Brugge. AC Milan are 1 up at Atletico. Rafael Leao scored before Frank Kessie got sent off. Liverpool are 1-0 up at Porto. Mo Salah scored on the 18th minute. Ajax, of course, bet Bezique. That's earlier on today. Berghaus and Haller both on the score sheet there. Sporting Lisbon and Dortmund is 0-0. Inter Milan and Shakhtar Donetsk finished 0-0. And Sheriff are 1-0 up against Real Madrid with Yak Shiboev scoring the goal for Sheriff.
Not the Adama Traore light, apparently not scoring. They have another Adama Traore.
And it's at the Bernabeu, Jack. And it's at the Bernabeu.
Wow.
That'd be a huge result.
Who knows? Maybe something similar to what Ajax potentially pulled off against them at the Bernabeu maybe years back. Zanuska joining us tonight, Dave. Zanuska saying, hi, Jack and David. Just got home after work. How's the match been so far? Come on, you Harris Army. Come on, you Flat Cap Army. It's actually been a pretty exciting match. I would say I'd like to see, I don't know, I'd probably like to see just, I wouldn't really care which one scored if it were Man City or PSG. To be honest, it'd be interesting if PSG were to drop points in this one. If they only got a point out of this, be interesting because, like we said, they only got a point in a Club Brugge match as well. So that'd be a bit concerning, maybe. But at the end of the day, I probably want to see another goal in this match just to see things open up a bit more.
I have to say, this game hasn't been good as I thought it'd be, Jack. PSG, it's what I was saying about the midfield. I don't know. They just thought they're not linking up with the front three whatsoever at all.
Does that just have to do with maybe the world-class stardom of the front three? Just maybe the front three just doesn't really work very hard to connect to the midfield?
No, I just don't see. The midfield aren't getting up enough to support the front three. Like if they were getting up enough to support the front three, even the wing, even the fullbacks, they create more space for the front three. They create more space for a Neymar, for a Messi, for a PSG by doing all the runs and everything else like that. And speaking of runs, Mbappe's in here behind. He squares it. Oh, why is he gone for the shot? Oh, good save by Ederson. I don't know why Herrera went for the shot there. But they're
especially
just not
first time.
They're not really linking up with the front three of PSG. And if they did, they would be creating a hell of a lot more space for them. Oh, what play by Mbappe. Oh, how's he not gone on the end of that? Across the Shakhtar box from the corner. Unlucky. What play by Mbappe. It was FIFA-esque, that was, Jack.
Marquinhos always seems to pop up in those positions, Dave. He always seems to pop up in those positions, Marquinhos. I'll tell you that. Really does seem to just honestly show up in the most random of scenarios to put away a goal. He did that against Bayern last season where he just somehow came off at the end of that delicious ball, I believe by Neymar it might have been, or Di Maria. But Zanuska, thank you for joining us. Hope you had a good day of work. And as well, really appreciate you for tuning in. As always, Zanuska, you're a real legend, Zanuska.
Big up, Miss Ranchunder. Thank you so much for the support and everything else. Really, really appreciate it. But look, another get to know Jack question I have today, Jack. So, of course, look, I know you ended up over in Berlin, correct? Studying.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't why don't you maybe tell some of the Harris Army how that come about?
When I was in university, Dave, I've always been a huge person for languages. In fact, I really actually enjoy linguistics. If anybody knows about linguistics, it's like the following of, kind of lingual trees, or, kind of just following language trees. And German is one of the most important languages to learn if you really enjoy linguistics. In fact, because, English, in fact, is majority a Germanic language, Dave. So, a lot of words that we use every day are actually German words. Or even German-based words, not exactly Latin-based words, as we might think that's the case, or Greek-based words. But the majority of the words, wow, that is a horrible stomp by Kevin De Bruyne on Idrissa Gana Gueye there just quickly. But that is disgusting, actually, to watch. Really, that's horrible. But yeah, Dave, I just, I wanted to be, I wanted to be a language major on top of, whatever other major that I decided, which ended up being political science. And is actually much more interested in languages. And so in order to, be a German major, you have to study in Germany for at least 6 months. I went there for about 7 months, studied in Berlin, didn't really want to go anywhere else other than Berlin, just because I kind of don't really have a fascination as much with Germany, just kind of the language I do find to be quite interesting. And so I went to Berlin because Berlin at the end of the day is a fascinating, really cool city. And so really just wanted to head on over there. That is a horrible challenge. Seems like Idrissa Gana Gueye.
So how does a man that has a major in languages, I believe you're a business major as well.
Political science, Dave. Not business.
So how does a man with all them degrees end up being a YouTube content creator? How did you end up even getting into YouTube, Jack?
I unfortunately, David, I did graduate. Obviously, I'm only recently graduated. I graduated during the pandemic. During the pandemic,
Oh,
there
right.
weren't a lot
Yeah.
of jobs here, weren't a lot of careers at all, really, especially for me as a political science major or a German major. Really weren't actually many careers available. A lot of companies are downsizing, even still at the moment. And so I really, I kind of just continued to actually just, serve tables, Dave, wait tables. And, I worked behind
I
a
done
bar
that
for a
before.
very long time, painted
Yeah, I done that.
houses, and just kind of got tired of, kind of just working, very hard, difficult jobs, especially
Mm,
after, getting an education that luckily I was very lucky to receive. Um, being that, had a lot of opportunities to be able to get an education. So I had to take advantage of that, and just felt a bit kind of disappointed, a bit down, I'll be honest, actually, having to not find the jobs that I really wanted. And yeah, just kind of just decided to make that plunge, Dave, to a degree, and then luckily found you at the end of the day. Really lucky that I found you, but yeah, decided to make a bit of that plunge into it, and it's so far, it's there's still a long way to go for me, but I would
mm.
say it's worked out. Maybe I would say to the best, to more than I could have ever imagined. And so I really would like to thank everybody here. Thank David, of course, and
No.
everybody. Honestly, they've shown me incredible support. But yeah, that's what it was, Dave. I was kind of caught in a pickle, really, and also really to a degree, quite sad about it all. Just found it really hard to motivate myself to, maybe get back into the workforce and,
Mm,
work. I just couldn't find a job that I really wanted, especially with what I was, went to school for. And so it just was, I think a lot of people would feel the same that graduated
yeah.
during the pandemic, Dave, like I graduated in 2020. So, it just was right as the pandemic started as well. So just was really unforeseen circumstances, and, just how it
It's
went.
mad how
And
complete
glad
opposite
it,
we
glad it
are.
in a way it went this way. In a way, I'm actually
Mm,
very glad I went this way, because this is the best, this is the best job in the world. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that despite how hard David and I work constantly, it is the best job in the world. And luckily, the missus, though, she got a very good job at the university she went to. She went to
what's
NYU and now works at NYU.
wow.
So, uh, it's at the end of the day, she got a very good job. And so I've been able to, kind of go for my dreams here. And while she's able to, at least have a very good, solid, steady paying job, and also very blessed to have her, of course. And yeah, Dave, to a degree, it's all worked out. But for, I would say 6, 7 months, it was very, very tough. I can't,
Mm,
can't go around it, any other way. But yeah, that's how, maybe long
wow.
story short, that's how it got into things.
No, that's mad. That's mad. It's mad how complete opposites we are. Because look, with school, I got my leaving cert barely passed everything, and then I was working. I was always working during school, but like I was working in pubs, and then I was working in a hotel for about 6 years.
Mm,
Got fed up with that, and ended up going and working in a restaurant that my friend started up, and then unfortunately, he passed away and that. So that happened, and then and then I went into motor mechanics, and I
mm.
was doing my apprenticeship in that. Went to college and everything else for that, and then yeah, the pandemic hit. The pandemic hit. I was watching Tottenham. I was getting more and more pissed off at them. I started tuning in more and more to like We Are Tottenham TV, and then just said, one day I'll bite the bullet, go on and have my say, and just took off from there. Really,
Yeah.
I never ever thought I'd fall into YouTube. It's not something I ever look. I always aspired to kind of like try and do something Tottenham wise with my life. I wanted to be involved, whether it be with the club or as a player. Obviously, them dreams never worked out. So obviously this is the next best thing you can do. Doing all Tottenham Hotspur content, which and then of course Flat Cap your talk channel here now, and it's just honestly it's the support that you guys in the chat right now that are giving us to people over in the Irish Hotspur chat as well, and it's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's like life has took a complete 180. You know what I mean? And honestly, but it's the dream is over once the viewers stop tuning in and supporting us the way they do and everything else. So it's just mad. And look, let's see how far we can take it, Jacko.
Let's see how far we can take it. And again, David and I are absolutely indebted to you guys. You guys have shown us more support than we could have ever imagined receiving. So we really do appreciate you guys. And we hope to continue to improve for you guys, continue to up the content, and continue to improve the content for you guys. And really do appreciate you guys, the Harris Army, the Flat Cap Army, as always. Sanuska's saying, I always say everything happens for a reason. Maybe the reason you didn't find those jobs It's because you were destined to be on YouTube. This is actually funny, Zanuska. I can tell you're very, very clever. I can tell you're very smart, because that's what, a lot of people were trying to tell me. And it was very hard to receive that, kind of, lesson, because when you really are desperate, for money, looking for jobs, and, having a bit of that added pressure and things, it's kind of hard to think that, that things happen for a reason, and that, maybe when you find yourself in that rut, that it's all, at the end of the day, it's for a good reason. It was hard for me to reconcile with that, really hard for me to reconcile with that, I must admit, actually. So I did have a rough few 6 months after graduating. And, the way I found myself on my feet in this sort of way, I could not have ever imagined, Zanuska. So you're absolutely right. It was just something, though, kind of one of those lessons that I just never could have imagined, actually believing in. And now I actually do. So Zanuska, actually, really well said. Really well said.
Do you know what I have to say, though? Just to add to it, sorry, I have to say, YouTube has been it's been a real saving grace for me, I have to say, because, but kind of before the pandemic hit, I was sick there for a long time, and you know what I mean, and everything else. And, just the fact that, YouTube came about, the channel grew, people seem to like it and stuff like that. It's complete madness. And I'm so grateful every day I wake up, that so far, this is my job, and the fact it suits me better, I'm getting better myself and stuff like that. So it's been an absolute saving grace. And I have to say, Jack, you coming on board has been a massive saving grace as well, my man. So
I'll admit, Dave, it certainly has been a match made in heaven. And I will say, like Zanuska is saying, it seemed to have all been for a reason. But, it's honestly, it's incredible to even think about it that way, that, we've been blessed in this sort of way, because maybe that's where you go. Maybe you just go through a bit of hard times, Dave, and then just, you get rewarded at the end of the tunnel. So maybe that's how we could look at it. But Zanuska, I really do appreciate you. And Faz Redfar is saying, "Big up, Jack. Great job last night, especially the end game." Yeah, Faz, it really was a good end of the stream. Everything's all good between me and Alex. I actually apologize to Alex for being a bit short with him. I just will admit I got a bit hangry. Faz, I got a bit hangry, and I needed to eat. And I was gonna make a delicious carbonara with the missus, and I got a bit kind of distracted by it all, and just probably took it out on Alex, my hunger. And so I did apologize for him. But at the same time, I also felt like there's no reason to come into his stream and, kind of attack the Harris Army like that. And so, it was kind of a bit both ways, but shouldn't have been so short with him. So I did apologize to him. But at the end of the day, we're all buddies at the end of the day, and we're all Spurs fans. And, it's just how we all feel about it. And it's all good at the end of the day. But yeah, do feel a lot better, Faz. Do feel a lot better. And also big yourself up as well. William McKenzie, really do appreciate, but I am very lucky, I will say. A lot of people don't get the opportunities. My parents were luckily, able to afford my education and whatnot, and did get a lot of, scholarships and whatnot for it. But, it's still, education is very expensive, especially over in the US. So believe me, it is very much it's very much a privilege. I'll tell you that. It very much is a privilege.
Look, Jack, in a sense, having the money to be able to do, get your education without any money worries is a privilege. But at the end of the day, whether you have money or not, everything always comes down to how much work you're willing to put into something to make it work, to get what you need to get out of it. And the fact that, you put the hard work in, because I'll be honest with you, lad, look, you know me, I don't come from much at all. I come from the bread and butter line. And look, I have friends, that have had money. Well, the parents have afforded stuff for them, but unfortunately just have lacked the hard work to get their education and stuff like that, so never underestimate it, my man. Never underestimate the hard work that goes into it.
Yeah, maybe so, I guess, and I only, maybe when I hear things like that, maybe I could be a bit nicer to myself. But at the same time, sometimes I like to think that we should take advantage of those opportunities, take advantage of those privileges. And I certainly felt like I had to, but really do appreciate everybody as well for all the support in the chat as well. She's saying, sorry, Zanuska here saying, I understand that I was the same after I graduated. It felt like everything was falling apart, but now things are going better for me. And I'm so glad it's the same for you too. Zanuska, I really love to hear that. Zanuska. I'm glad we're all find our feet at the end of it. It's very nice to see. It's all nice to see that we're finding our feet maybe during these rough times. It's a tough time to graduate and, maybe not be able to find maybe the career that you're looking for, jobs that you're looking for. Believe me, especially graduating as a pandemic graduate really was almost impossible. So I'll tell you, like it was a rough time, but I'm glad that we're all finding our feet. And as well as Zanuska, I'm glad everything is going a lot better for you as well. Like you said, maybe good things happen to good people, Zanuska. So at least I know that's in your case, Zanuska. So really do appreciate you though for all the support as always. William McKenzie saying,
it is good to see everything's going your way, Zanuska. So big yourself up.
Yeah, really appreciate you, Zanuska, as well, though. Also, really insightful comments about just life in general, Zanuska. Really, really, really insightful comments. I can tell, very wise. And William McKenzie saying, yeah, down patches don't go forever. William McKenzie, it's also something, have to come to terms with. You kind of think they do go forever. I'll tell you that. You certainly do, especially when you're in the middle of one. You do think they go forever and you'll never get out of it. But I certainly learned that I could actually, find my way out of it. And thanks to a lot of people, I was able to find myself out of it. It certainly wasn't myself. It was people like David. It was people like even We Are Tom TV, my missus as well. It's just my parents, honestly, tons of people that have supported me. My sister, who also lives quite close by to me in Philadelphia, has supported me a lot. So it really is like, yeah, it's honestly, I couldn't be more thankful. I really could not be more thankful.
I just want to add as well, sorry, because we do have a lot of, comments there to get to, and I do want to get to them because there's some good questions there as well. But, the Harris Army and, the Flat Cap Army have have pulled me out of the gutter as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's been great to be able to interact with so many people,
right.
Meet new friends over the lockdown and talk to all of the people, and just get to know more people in general. You know what I mean? It's been good for my mental health as well. And it's been absolutely brilliant, getting to know everyone and, just communicating with everyone and everything else. It's absolutely amazing. I never thought anything like this was possible, that I could speak to people in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, all around the world. People like you, Jack, over in America, like so many over in America, Canada, more people around Ireland without actually having to physically go and meet these people. Look, I was one of these people. I was never really social media active. I'm a bit, I'll be honest, Jack, look, off camera, I'm a bit shy. Anyone that, speak to and that regularly, they know I can be a bit shy sometimes and stuff like that. And, it's just mad that you can meet so many people all around the world. And, just that there's so many people out there that are like-minded like you, that think about the club the same way that you do and everything else. It's absolutely amazing.
I mean, Spurs connects everybody. It's the biggest family and the nicest family there is. It really is an unbelievable family. And Chris Agambar is saying that right here. And he says, David, YouTube has been a big help in lockdown, connected with fans that I felt like that I haven't felt since the Poch era. And I think that's exactly what more or less David is trying to say, is just, it really was during that pandemic era, Dave. Like it really was, it's the best blessing, honestly, in the world to find We Are Tottenham TV, to find, honestly, the whole Spurs family, especially when we all needed each other. It seems like we all really needed each other in our own ways, and so really I would say there's practically no better fan base in the world, I would say, in that regard, because honestly, I found so many friends that I've never met, including David as well. I've never actually met David in person. Yep. We will meet in person in March when we go to a game, and the missus and I will also take a slight tour through Ireland as well, just because she's always wanted to go there. And so, with David and I will meet, but yeah, there it is. Like David and I feel like the best of friends, and like David and I actually haven't even met. And so it is an unbelievable family. It's an unbelievable family. And Chris Agambar is saying that right here. And I think really during the pandemic, a lot of us found a home, solace, just comfort in each other really during the pandemic. And really well said, Chris, really well said. I definitely agree. Definitely agree. And I know David was more or less saying a version of that as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's absolutely amazing. And the fact that we can all pick each other up in dire times, especially how much people really love the club. Sometimes I thought I was on my own because, like I was saying last night, I'm a bit of a loser in regard that I have no other hobbies, I have no other interests, passions, or loves, bar my family, of course, and that. But bar Tottenham Hotspur, you know what I mean? Like literally, I won't play any other Xbox games unless I can play FIFA with Tottenham Hotspur. I don't really like. I watch TV and movies, of course, more like comedies and stuff like that. But everything I do is around Tottenham Hotspur. First thing I do, wake up in the morning, look at the latest news. Before I go to bed, check the latest news. Of course, the YouTube channel now evolved around it and everything else. And just to see so many like-minded people out there, so many more like-minded people, it's insane. I'll be honest, I never knew how big the Spurs fan base was.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know how opening they would be too, David. I mean, how heartwarming they would be, how kind they would be as well. And it actually is unbelievable. Even like I said, I've just found Spurs fans in the strangest of moments, and also just them being just the most open of people as well, just the kindest of people as well. So I would just say there's something special about this fan base. There really is. And I'll tell you that. And that's coming from somebody halfway across the world. I can tell you that it really is something special. Aaron Dubb saying similar stories about the lads. Lived in Germany, traveled a lot all over the world, learned to cook, barely got leaving. Worked on and off in the motor trade as well. Now I'm unemployed, but that'll change too. Aaron, it's honestly, it's crazy to a degree how we've all, to a certain sense, have lived similar experiences, and all have maybe learned a bit of the same lessons as maybe Zanuska even was touching on as well. We've learned a lot of the same lessons in life, which I would say is also unbelievable, especially the way Zanuska put it. So Aaron Dubb, really glad that maybe you're able to find your feet as well very soon. And also Aaron Dubb is as well another legend of the Harris Army, another legend of the Spurs Army, David Army, Flat Cap Army, the whole armies that we've created here. And just honestly, the tightest bunch in the world. Like I said, and I do mean this, I'm not even kidding. The Harris Army, the Irish Hotspur Army, the Flat Cap Army, they could get a bill passed in Congress, and that is not an understatement. I really do think that we have one of the strongest, most cohesive fan bases in the world, and it's crazy how much we do for each other, how much we've been able to, I don't know, just find solace in each other, like I said before. But Zanuska saying you guys are too kind. I love you both, and the Harris Army and the Black Cup Army. We love you as well, Zanuska, a real legend. Also really appreciate all the support they've shown us. Zanuska, I really do appreciate all the support they've shown. Tottenham Tantrum, Dermot, really good to see him. Starting to get in the feelings, everybody. So maybe once halftime, is over, maybe we'll have to maybe focus on the football. But also really appreciate you guys, the Harris Army as well, and the Flat Cup Army, opening up in such a way as well. Like, really do appreciate you guys opening up. Again, everybody's so incredibly just forthcoming and kind, David. They're so just open with each other. It's really actually, it's I would say it's very unique. And Dermot saying, you and David are such an inspiration, not just to me, but to the whole Harris and Flat Cup Army. Can't thank you enough for all you do. Just say thank you. Glad you're feeling better, Jack. It was a long time ago that, I was probably a bit in the muck or a bit in the rut, but I'm certainly doing a lot better. And it's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster, Dermot. It certainly has been. And also appreciate you as well, Dermot, my real brother. Honestly, it's like the brother I never had, Dermot. Really do appreciate him as well, because he's honestly as well, David, been a huge inspiration. I would say he's an absolute warrior, Dermot. So he's a huge inspiration to David and I, a real warrior. Big yourself up, Dermot. I love you as well, brother. Love you as well. Let's get to some other ones here. How can talking about Spurs be good for your health? That's a bit of reality, maybe check for us. Certainly not. Maybe I would just say the Spurs family, just Spurs in general are a bit, just, a bit of a family, just a bit of something, to be able for us to all connect with each other. I would say that's how I would put it, maybe. So really, Mr. Simon or Mr. Simono, or Mr. Simon number 7, it says, I would just say, maybe not talking about Spurs is the connection. It's just maybe the fan base in general is maybe what I meant. William Kelly saying, thanks for starting these platforms to give us somewhere to talk. That's what I also love as well. Like, there are 22 people in the building, and it just feels like everybody's having a conversation with each other, connecting with each other, talking to us, giving us, maybe opening up to us as well, David. It's actually incredible. Like I said, even the last, stream we had with the Borussia Mönchengladbach Dortmund game was honestly really, really touching to see how much people are opening up with each other, talking to each other. It seems like everybody can find a bit of a friend in the Harris Army, find a Flat Cap Army friend. It's just really actually, again, it really is touching to see how nice and how open people are with each other, Dave.
Yeah, no, it is, honestly.
There's no, as much as maybe people might, I don't know, like if you know anyone as well that's a Spurs fan, believe me, I would really recommend the Irish Hotspur, because it seems like you can find a friend so quickly in the chat. You can find a friend so quickly, or just even some sort of solace or therapy, I would say, in this family. So it is a family, and that's what I would probably say.
Do you know what? It's mad how friendly the chat is, with how many people can be in it at times. Because look, when I started, I always wanted to be approachable. I would always respond to everybody where I can, and I always wanted the channel to kind of be like a friendly place to come, smiles and stuff like that. But I never thought it could be as nice as it's turned out. But that's down to all the people in the chat, how they communicate with each other, how friendly they are with each other and everything else. So it's been insane. It's been absolutely madness.
Golden Cock saying, and I really echo this, he says, helps me in the evening with my mental health. Love tuning in to stop my brain racing with all the other crap going on in life. Thank you, Harris Army and Flat Cap Army. Golden Cock, like I said, and maybe with many others, you also provide David and I so much. You don't even realize that. Like, you guys make us laugh. You guys make us, you guys inspire. You almost put so many light bulbs in our heads every day. Also, the way that you guys receive us is honestly incredible, because at the end of the day, it is you guys receiving us and almost welcoming us into your guys' hearts and into your guys' minds as well. And so it's just everybody has honestly been so incredibly thankful, or so incredibly just heartwarming to David and I, and just so open to David and I. And David and I are honestly incredibly indebted to you guys, indebted forever to you guys, because really you guys have given us a home. You guys have given us confidence. You guys have given us, I don't know, David. Yeah, confidence and, comfort to be able to be more like ourselves, even for us to open up like this as well. It's just Golden Cock, believe me, whatever you feel like, we help you with, you're helping us in almost the same exact ways. Believe that, Golden Cock, believe that. And so whatever it is that, maybe we help you with, I'm glad that we are, but also as well, Golden Cock, we do appreciate you. Believe me, we do appreciate you as well, because you guys always give us such a, like I said, just such a comfort, such a sense of confidence. It's unbelievable. So Golden Cock, but big yourself up. And again, really hope everything is going to be maybe turning around for you, or, just at least I'm glad that maybe the Harris Army and the Flat Cap Army maybe can take your mind off things. But Golden Cock, again, really appreciate everybody for opening up. Really do appreciate everybody for opening up.
I just want to say as well, look, of course, like people that may have listened before, like of course in my family, like, that there's been a bit of mental health and stuff like that, to someone close to me and that. And, I'm a big believer on it. So my emails, any of my social medias, the messages are always open. Feel free to drop me a message. I'll give out my number and we can chat or whatever else. No problem.
Exactly. David and I are always open to you. I mean, we try our best to get back to you guys. I think we honestly pride ourselves in that, David, to a degree, trying to connect with everybody as best we can, even, during the busiest of days. Sometimes I need to make sure that I'm still connecting with the Harris Army. Still need to make sure that, everybody's all right at the end of the day. And so Golden Cock, really do hope you're all right. Really do hope you're all right at the end of the day. And also glad that you were able to open up as well. Really do appreciate you. Rocky saying, hi, Jack and David. How are you guys doing? Hope you're doing well, Rocky. Hope you're doing well. It's gotten, very, very, I would say the best kind of feelings over here have been expressed. The best kind of, positivity, the best kind of home has been set up in this watch along. So if you need, just some people to hang out with, you just need a few friends maybe for this watch along. Rocky, you can find it here. You can find it here. I'll tell you that. I can tell you that you'll find some friends here. And also hope you're able to, like I said, hopefully you're able to find some solace maybe in this fan base. And Para Miguel Escobedo saying, Jack and David, you guys are amazing. You are a treasure. Para Miguel Escobedo, you're also our treasure as well. Para Miguel, honestly, the amount of support that you've shown me on this channel has been unbelievable. Para Miguel, you bring a smile to my face. Also, again, I love that you updated me on the Simeone. I love that he knew what I meant as well, Dave, as well. Simeone's always looking fresh. He's always looking brilliant on the sidelines. There's not a single tailor in the business that wouldn't want to tailor Diego Simeone suits, because those suits are absolutely picturesque, I would say, honestly. The way he just does the all black with the all black shoes and everything, it's just glorious, Para Miguel. And also, again, really do appreciate you as always, Para Miguel. Also hope you're doing okay as well, Para Miguel Escobedo. And please reach out to any of Data and I socials if you need someone to talk to, if you need someone to connect with. We're totally available and always trying to be available to you guys. And really big yourself up, Para Miguel, again, for all the support that you've shown me, Para Miguel. Really do appreciate you. You're my treasure. Golden Cock saying, we need a Flat Cap well-being channel. This is what maybe these watch-alongs, I guess, are kind of turning into. Maybe when the game also isn't as exciting as we probably want it to be, this is what we turn towards. Maybe when the game isn't maybe what we wanted it to be. So this is what we turn towards. And hopefully everybody's all right with that. And again, really do appreciate you, Golden Cock. Really do appreciate you. Philip Brady's even joining us, saying City deserve to be level at least. Yeah, hopefully maybe we'll turn to the football, Philip. But at the same time, I'm really glad that we had this conversation with everybody. I'm really actually thankful we have this conversation with everybody, because sometimes we need to make sure that we're checking in with everybody, maybe for everything outside of football, because there are a lot of things that at the end, as much as I would say football is practically the most important thing in my life, there's still some things that we all know that are still more important than football, and that is your mental health, that is your physical well-being, that is your family, that is maybe your misses as well, just the people that love and support you. And so we all know that there are things bigger than football at the end of the day. And hopefully we'll be able to get back to the football at some point, though, Philip Brady. Hopefully you'll be able to get back to it. But making sure everybody's letting me know that they're all right. Par Miguel Escobardo, glad you're okay. Really glad you're okay. And also, again, please feel free, Par Miguel, if you want to reach out to any of my socials. Certainly don't have to. But if you feel like, you want someone to just chat with, connect with, feel free to talk to me. Feel free to talk to me. JC saying, these channels you guys created are gold. Twitter, etc., can be toxic. Hence, I won't partake in those platforms. Yeah, JC, to be honest, actually, my Twitter is quite inactive. My DMs, I would say, are always very active. You're welcome to hit me up in the DMs. You're welcome to send me any sort of messages, but I don't actually tweet many things, I would say, JC. I actually just kind of respond to people in messages, and that's how I like to talk to people. So JC as well, really do appreciate that. I actually completely agree with you. Really do completely agree with you. Crocodox just talking about maybe a bit something having to do with the club. Maybe we'll talk about that later, though, Crocodox, because at the end of the day, we're going to keep the Spurs things maybe a bit more related
10 p.m.,
to
10 p.m.
Hotspur. Tune in at 10 p.m., brother. Tune in at 10 p.m. Jerry says the best wines grow from stress grapes. Perhaps now we are those stress grapes. Spurs will be back. I love that, Jerry. Absolutely love that. That is brilliant. That is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I really do agree with that. I haven't heard that phrase before, even that saying before. So I'm actually going to steal that if I can, Jerry. If I can remember it, I'm going to steal that from you. And I will probably credit for you. Maybe I'll give a little citation under it for you. But really appreciate you. Really do appreciate you. Chris just saying big up to everybody. Chris saying hello, everybody. Welcome back, Chris, as well. And then Par Miguel just saying good, Jack. Thank you. And also Par Miguel, like I said, Twitter, Instagram, however you want to reach me if you'd like to, feel free to, but also love connecting to you on this channel anyways, Par Miguel. So like I said, true legend. He says, I'm good. I am all good, Jack, as well. Very calm after the weekend. Yeah, Chris, but I will say, absolutely legendary call in, Chris, yesterday. Yeah. The way you made, and it's actually what I needed, Chris, to a degree, because I knew I should still have a bit of anger. I knew I should still have a bit of resentment towards that performance, and kind of brought it back into me because I realized that it's still not acceptable. I started to kind of rationalize it when I shouldn't have. Maybe we do that sometimes when we're down. We try to rationalize things that really shouldn't be rationalized. And you kind of brought us back down to earth to a degree, brought us to reality, Chris, about the existential crisis that we're in, and even just what these players have done to us. I mean, Chris, honestly, legendary Colin. Legendary Colin.
Do you know what I loved about it, right? I went through all the anger, all Sunday.
I felt the blood boiling myself inside.
And then I was actually like in mourning on Monday. I swear to God, I was in mourning, right? I'm not messing. And then, Chris then comes on and gets me back angry again. I'm like, Chris, what are you doing, man? But no, honestly, legendary calling. But look, that's what the show was about yesterday. Just get people on, let them de-stress, get whatever it is on their mind, off their chest. And, hopefully then after today's show, then we can all move on, So
there you go.
And take from there. And look, a lot of people enjoyed it. I mean, 5 hours long, we went through about, I'd say, 15 people yesterday. It was a lot of people had a lot to say. It was a very good show. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for everyone for coming on.
It was therapy. It really was therapy for a lot of us. And I'm glad that we went as long as we did. I really am, because I felt like we all needed it. I really did feel like we all needed it. I put that in the comments under the video as well. For a lot of people that put comments, watching the show as well. It was therapeutic for a lot of us. It certainly was. And also Dermot as well. Just saying hello to everybody. Really appreciate you as well, Dermot, as always. Do appreciate you, brother. Just saying hello to Philip, and just making sure I'm not missing anything. People are just talking to each other at the end of the day, though, Dave. That's why I also love, sometimes I don't even want to invade their conversations, with each other. So really, everybody, do just big yourselves up. I'm actually going to now maybe just take a quick look at the football. But Chris here is saying,
you've had a number of chances.
They've had, and they definitely have. And now maybe they're definitely feeling maybe the pressure to come back into this one. But I would say they don't need the points as much as PSG do, certainly, I would say, because they had that fantastic, ridiculous game against Leipzig, where I would say defending just went out the window in that match. There is no such thing as defending in that match. Chris says, Jack, to be honest, I was more annoyed that we could stoop that low and put in a shit performance like that, man. Yeah. Chris, like I said, honestly, like you were reminding me that my blood should still be boiling. Like it really, like I'm not even kidding. I just felt myself like heating up in every way. The way that you were getting through to me on it, really were getting through to David and I. To really big yourself up. This is why I want to say Dermot as well had an absolutely class call-in, Dave. He had a fantastic call-in, set the tone. As like I said to him, he set the tone for it all. He reminded of almost to a degree. I mean, Chris, as much as yours was honestly brilliant, just felt like Dermot really set the tone for everybody for how they should
first time caller. It's not easy, Jack.
Yeah, it's especially being the first.
We've all been there.
Debut call, as well as the first call of the night as well. Like just so much pressure, and handled it perfectly, Dermot. You handled it perfectly, and like I said again, I'll say it again. You set the tone. You really set the tone. Couldn't thank you enough, Dermot. Really, again, true warrior, absolute warrior. Really appreciate you, brother.
No, look, we've all been there, Jack. We all know the first call. You're nervous, you're sweating. Your palms are sweating and everything else. But absolutely brilliant for his first call. And look, it's like us all. Look, me, I'll be honest with you. I know some people probably won't believe me, but honestly, I hated getting in photos. I hated even being in like video recordings or anything like that. I used to go mad. I'd be like, delete that, delete that, delete that. And to find myself on camera and that, and look, even going on the first time when we were talking TV, I knew how nerve-wracking it is and everything else. So, absolutely great calling. To be the first one on as well, brilliant.
Yeah, actually, really well said. I mean, I still get nervous when I go on Weird Time TV. I'll tell you guys that. I still get nervous when I come on there. And COVID-99 saying the emotions in yesterday's show was awesome. Loved every minute. It was a brilliant show at the end of the night, Kuba. Really was really brilliant. Everything from Dermot's call-in to Ellie to Philip to Chris, and then to the Alex moments, and it just was all very brilliant. It really was really brilliant, and hopefully everybody enjoyed it. And also, like maybe Philip is saying here, really also hope that it was pure therapy for everybody. And also, yeah, I am feeling a bit more positive about Spurs today. Also, but David and I, David and I did receive also a lot of support from you guys, as well as some others as well, that are part of the Harris Army. And David and I really do feel like, as much as I don't think that performance can ever be completely absolved or completely relieved, there are a lot of things maybe outside of Spurs to a degree that I think, David and I at least would be able to find some therapy and, find a bit of happiness through. And so really do appreciate everybody. Really do appreciate it. But I know I'm going to say that a million times, but it's because you guys deserve it. Really because you guys deserve it. So big yourselves up, I would say. Yeah, really big yourself up. And also Ronan O'Donnell, big yourself up as well, Ronan. Good to have you as well. Good to have you, Ronan. True legend. And now Brugge beating Leipzig 2-1, heard around the ground, Shamu correspondent on the pitch. And also Brugge, do let me know, is it Charles de Ketelaere or Noah Lang? I absolutely love both of those players.
Shamu's not taking my job. I'll give it to you. It's Ritz. Sorry, Shamu, you're taking my job, lad. You can't just drop out like that and then come back in and take my job around the ground. Shamu, you can help me. PSG are still 1-0 up. Club Brugge are 2-1 up at Leipzig. It is Ritz with the second. AC Milan are still winning. Liverpool are 2 up with Sadio Mane scoring. And Borussia Dortmund are 1 up with Daniel Marlin scoring. And
good to see Marlin scoring. Actually, he's not started well. He's not started well at Dortmund. It's actually good to see him score. So, sorry, yeah, continue, Dave.
No, and FC Sheriff is still 1-0 up.
The Moldovans. But yeah, Dave, I was just gonna say, really look forward to seeing the Flat Cap Army on the sidelines, alongside, Sky Sports, alongside BT Sports correspondents. We'll see the Flat Cap Army, the Harris Army, giving us our reports around the ground. They'll be tuning in, with the finger by their ear, letting us know, what's going around the grounds in Europe. So really do appreciate you guys. I mean, this channel, the Harris Army, we're all going places. Honestly. You guys are honestly the best football brains I could pick from. Really the best football brains I could pick from. So can't wait to see you guys on the touchline. See you guys in the touchline, maybe like with an earpiece like this right here, telling everybody what's going on around all the grounds. You guys are absolute legends. We need to organize a flat cap day out, Jack.
Flat cap retreat, lad.
Dave, we know that, that plane ride might be a little bumpy. Probably the drinks be flowing. It'd just be too many vibes, too many vibes, too many vibes, too many good vibes, Dave. It'd be absolutely brilliant. I was even, like I said, Dave, I was talking to Statman Dave this morning. He was saying, bring the whole Statman Dave army on the plane. And I was thinking, and he was like thinking, the plane would be rocking. And I was like, wow, if the Harris Army were on that plane, the plane would probably go down when you think about it. So it'd just be that good. It'd be that good of vibes. We'd probably land touch early, maybe in Lisbon, Porto, maybe get a few, few Portuguese, kind of dishes in there, maybe move on to Italy after that, just have absolute vibes, across the world. Harris Army, honestly, you guys are absolute legends.
Oh, flat cap retreat. That'll be class.
Flat cap retreat for sure. Flat cap retreat for sure. Do let me know, maybe everybody put in the comments if you wanted to have a flat cap retreat somewhere. Where would it be? Where would maybe the Harris Army be best served? Is it kind of like a Portuguese vacation? I know a lot of people in the UK like to vacation there. I've always wanted to go there in Portugal. I really love the idea of going to Porto or Lisbon. Maybe, Harris Army, maybe they're all about Italy, Dave. Who knows? Maybe a return to Germany, but I don't think a lot of people like to vacation in Germany, maybe apart from Bavaria. But who knows? Just let me know, Harris Army. Where should the flat cap retreat be? Where should the Harris Army retreat be? Do let us know in the comments where maybe the best vacation spot is for all of us to meet and, just take over, basically, just to take over any town. Kind of like how England, Dave, take over, certain towns that they go to for certain matches. The Harris Army would take over, but probably in a much more polite way. That's what I would say. We're a bit more respectful, but really big yourselves up. I'm going to turn to the football bit here. Joao Cancelo pinging one across the pitch. Probably haven't said anything about the football in a while. Pinging one across the pitch now to Riyad Mahrez, putting on the skills there. Great tackle, actually, by Idrissa Gana Gueye. Fantastic tackle. Kyle Walker on the ball. Can't really find anyone here. Looking to Ruben Diaz. Actually, a bit of an interesting point. And again, we don't really probably talk very much about City, but Aymeric Laporte was rumored with going to Spurs, and now he's actually been playing a lot more, and it's John Stones who has actually seemed to have fallen out of the pecking order again, which is quite interesting to me. I would say it's quite interesting. I'm not sure why that is. Don't really pride myself in wanting to know why that is, but if anybody did know why is Aymeric Laporte maybe back into the squad? I really rate him as a player, but quite interested why he got back into the squad.
Probably because he's left-footed, Jack. So, Pep probably wants a left-footed centre-back in there.
Yeah, and I think maybe it's a bit more cutthroat at City. I know Laporte, I think he had a bad few games or something, so he fell out of the pecking order. And then maybe that's what happened. And then John Stones took over. Didn't really put a foot wrong, John Stones. So it's probably how it went down. But do let me know.
I have to say, PSG have been very disappointed. I expected a lot more for the players that they signed. Yeah. A lot more of them on the ball, a lot more, clear-cut chances created, a lot more better play between them all. I have to say, they've been pretty poor, Jack.
I think that's been the story of PSG so far this season to a degree, Dave. It's been the story so far. They've been quite underwhelming. And maybe the only reason that City, I would say City, when you think about it, City should be 1-1. It should be tied. They've had fantastic chances. In fact, they've dominated this second half. And again, we probably are thinking about that Bernardo Silva sitter.
That was a shock.
Probably could be 1-1, could be 2-1 maybe to City. So they're probably even lucky to be 1-0 up at the moment. Yeah,
look, they're playing a lot of I have to say, Cancelo at left back, kind of popping inside on the right boot. He's playing a lot of balls at difficult angles for the PSG defenders to get the body turned and get anything onto it. So I have to say, it's actually been a bit of a masterstroke, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely to a degree. And I would say, Joao Cancelo putting in very well said, Dave, almost like Heung-min Son kind of crosses into the box, very dipping, tough angles to even deal with. So I would say, one of these eventually is going to go well, I would say, just because, like I said, Joao Cancelo, Dave, never puts a bad ball in. He doesn't know how to put a bad pass, I would say, Joao Cancelo.
My God, Mbappe's been crap.
Philip Brady saying Las Vegas. That would be interesting. I've actually never been to Las Vegas, Philip. I've never been to Las Vegas. Believe that. I've never been to that, party town, really. But, never been to the Strip. So do let me know maybe if you've been, Philip. I know you're a bit of a world traveler, so maybe you've been there. But Chris Agambar is saying, I've been on a pub crawl in Dublin. That was messy.
Yeah.
Certainly maybe can be. It can get a bit spicy. Can get a bit dicey as well. But
12 pubs of Christmas. Was it the 12 pubs of Christmas, Chris? I know that can get very, very messy, believe me.
12 clips of Christmas. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah, you go into a pub and you have a drink in each. Like, and each pub there's a different rule. So if you get caught out, then you have to do a forfeit and all that sort of jazz. It gets very, very, very messy.
Like the college days, really, really. And Zanuska saying, I've wanted to go to Spain my whole life. Let me know in Spain, actually.
Maybe retire in Spain.
Yeah, David, actually, he wants to go to, I think it's southern Spain, right, Dave? Maybe somewhere a bit on the coast, probably.
Really, where was I last year? Or not last year, sorry, before the pandemic. It was the year before the pandemic.
Not Ibiza.
No, Jesus, no.
I've never been to Ibiza.
Lanzarote, I'm gonna say. I think it was Lanzarote. I don't know. I just get told to pack my bags and I go. But I think it was Lanzarote. But yeah, I honestly just a nice chilled out life. Chill out, get out of the hustle of everyone whizzing around all the time, and just go to Spain and just chill out.
Yeah, maybe a nice little trip down to Sevilla, as they probably say over there. The Sevilla, Valencia, southern Spain sounds nice. I would say not really a fan of I haven't been to Spain at all, but let me know if Catalonia is okay, because I'm not really a fan of FC Barcelona. So maybe it's actually quite nice to visit there. But do let me know. I would be maybe going for a bit of a southern Spain kind of thing. Malaga also sounds nice. Looks beautiful down there as well. Probably want to go to the Mediterranean side, but maybe the Atlantic side is also quite nice. But do let me know. And Zanuska, really pick yourself up as well. Love these answers from everybody. You guys welcome in SoCal. Yeah, SoCal. Very, very. There you go, David. I would say my aunt actually lives down in Carlsbad, California. David, maybe you probably know where that is, but that's where my aunt lives, and that's kind of a bit near San Diego. So, David, you don't have to tell me where you are, but just a bit about me. There it is. My aunt lives in Carlsbad, so I'm actually quite familiar with certain parts of Southern California. So big yourself up, David. Big yourself up. Very beautiful down there. Very, very beautiful. Charles de Ketele with the assist. Paulo Miguelis, Gaberto. Absolutely love you. I would just say this guy, want to do a scout report on him myself. I just think he's an absolute baller. I just think this guy is absolutely majestic to watch. I personally myself, David probably knows this. I love a tall man with techers. Loving, someone who doesn't need the pace, to get by somebody, just needs the techers, just has that bit of vision, that bit of extra class. And also apparently Charles de Ketele, a bit of a fun fact about him. Apparently he's a very skilled tennis player. So I've been told very skilled tennis player as well. He even looks like a tennis player, but there you go. Paulo Miguel Escobardo. Also really do appreciate you for that. Thank you for the update. Love Real absolutely Madrid, that.
Real Madrid have equalized that Sheriff Benzema penalty. And Liverpool have gone 3-0 up with Mo Salah getting his second of the day.
Mercedes-Benz with the penalty. There you go, everybody. Heard around the ground from David. There you go. Another member of the Flat Cap Army with the earpiece, and just letting us know.
I just said I better get in there before Shamu starts typing.
Jason Bell saying San Sebastian. I'm not too sure where that is actually. Maybe that's a place in Spain. So there you go. Also sounds actually quite nice. Flat Cap retreat to the World Cup. Maybe not to the next one. I would say the next one doesn't sound too enticing. Maybe for political reasons. Also, as well, I would say can't really have too many drinks over there as well. And so William McKenzie maybe also it's not very too kind to a lot of people over there. So maybe the next World Cup, maybe the World Cup after that we could go to, maybe down the road. But big yourself up. And Chris saying I've always wanted to go to the USA. Believe me, Chris, anytime you're New York bound, brother, you have a free couch. Even the missus and I, we have actually a huge Japanese screen divider. It's actually that one you're kind of seeing behind me as well, for a bit of privacy if you need, so there you go, Chris. If you need somebody, to stay with in New York, maybe take a cheaper night as well, so you don't have to pay for the hotels. There you go, Chris. Always have somebody in the Flat Cap Army to go to.
I think Philip is reliving his past here in the comments. Philip giving his war stories. I'd say Philip has a few golden stories. If
we get to the Europa Cup, if we get to the Europa Conference League final, we can take over Albania.
Harris Army assemble. Oh, that'd be brilliant.
I think the Harris Army would need the Flat Cap Army's too nice, Dave. The Flat Cap Army's too nice for Albania, I would say. We're probably not tough enough, but looks like Neymar, David's probably seen, but Neymar, how did he not take advantage of that? That's shocking. That is shocking, Neymar. That is shocking. Actually, wow. Sometimes the wastefulness of certain PSG players is actually ridiculous. Harris Army rules anywhere it goes.
I can imagine us all over Tirana, sloppy and everything. Oh, it'd be so funny.
Albania.
Harris Army everywhere, just random people going, Harris Army. You know what I mean? That would be hilarious.
PSG parking the bus. I mean, it's kind of true. Even against Bayern, I would tell you that they parked the bus. They definitely parked the bus against Bayern. I'll tell you that. You know, it's just It's just Pochettino. Even Thomas Tuchel did it though as well. You know, it seems like PSG. They put their three up top. They rely on the three up top to create something, and then the rest of the team just sits behind the ball for their whole game. You're probably right, Mr. Simon. You're definitely right there. Philip Brady saying Jack Grealish's reputation for going down easily is going against him. Ref is giving him nothing. Yeah, he was giving him nothing from the beginning of the game, Philip. Giving him nothing from the beginning of the game. But I would say there are a few players on this team that I think go down a bit easier than Jack Grealish. Maybe a certain Neymar on the pitch, I would say, goes down a bit easier, as well as Mbappe, I would say, goes down very, very easily at times as well. You know, there are just a lot of players on this team, on both sides of the 11 that go down quite easily, if you ask me. But I do agree, Philip Brady. I think I was noticing that from the beginning as well. Definitely agree. Chris, yeah, New York is brilliant. I'll tell you that. Especially as a visitor, I would say it's a lot more brilliant. You know, living here is a bit of sometimes there's some good days, there's some bad days living over here. But I would say, Chris, you know, be happy to give you the tour. And been to Las Vegas a couple times. Can't remember either. Yeah, that's probably the case. I
love Jerry's icon. I love Jerry's icon here. Look at it.
Oh my gosh! I didn't even notice. Wow, Jerry, legend, Jerry, really legendary. It's like, Dave, what's the one? The Irish Hotspur's hat. You know, is that one as well. Jerry, really do appreciate you. Your logo's better than mine, Jerry. Your logo's better than mine. How'd you make that? That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant.
Send it on to us, Jerry. Send it on to us.
Oh, yeah, it's like flat cap app. That would be like if we were to do a flat cap after dark, you know, kind of thing. Yeah. That's what it would be. Jerry, legend.
Flat cap well-being channel that the people were suggesting before.
Oh, that was a naughty pass by Riyad Mahrez. That was a naughty
My
pass.
link has gone down.
That meg that he had, Dave, that was naughty. That was naughty. But Jerry, that's the flat cap after dark logo. Really appreciate you. That is brilliant. Philip Brady, now maybe I've caught up a bit more now. Dave is saying, first thing you meet in Vegas arriving in the airport are the slot machines. I've seen it just from movies alone. Those are things you get you see right away. Honolulu. I've only been to Hawaii once, and I'm very lucky to have been to Hawaii, but I haven't been to the Big Island or to Honolulu. I've been to the Big Island, which I believe is called Kona. But there you go. Hawaii is stunning, though. I will say, absolutely stunning. One of the most beautiful places in the world. And Philip Brady, Berlin is a magical city for a weekend. For sure. I just enjoyed really living there, Philip. It's actually probably, if I were to really want to live anywhere in the world, that's where I would actually want to live, is Berlin. I love Berlin. I just think it's a fascinating city. It's really fascinating. Lots of really, really good food there. And people wouldn't know that, but the food there is brilliant. Not German food by any means. That's why it's so good, is because the German food is almost impossible to find in Berlin. It's just fantastic döner, fantastic just Turkish food, just everything you can find in the world. Mediterranean food to Middle Eastern food. It's honestly just brilliant. It really is brilliant.
I don't want to know what went on over there, Philip. I don't want to know what went on. It's obviously sticking in the mind for a reason.
David saying Mallorca, and I would say maybe we could take a visit to Kong-in Lee, or Lee Kong-in David, as well, because, you know, someone I've always wanted to watch play. That guy is an absolute baller, Lee Kong-in. And as well, the scout report just made most of the graphics for it. I'm actually almost pretty close to being able to record it, the Lee Kong-in scout report, which will include a highlight reaction as well, everybody. Will include a highlight reaction. Lots of guttural noises that probably will be happening for all the skills that we're going to be watching. But I'm going to give you the stats, the attributes of him, and then as well a bit of a highlight reaction video. So hopefully you would enjoy that, David. I know many others would enjoy it.
What we need to do, Jack, is actually start contacting the players and just say to them, look, if you want an accurate scout report, you need to let us actually come and watch you train so we can, you know, get the accurate stats. You know, that's what we need to do. Start hitting them up and see if any of them will bring us to get the accurate reports on them.
Especially any of the itches, you know, think, David, you know, I'd be doing it for free, you know, at that rate, you know, I'd give them a lower rate, you know, David, as well. So there it is. I mean, there it is. I would say, you know, please, any professional footballers that maybe catch this, just know that the scout reports are plenty available, and we will be able to provide. Golden Cock saying, got to love a bit of the Cali. Certainly so. Chris says, Jack, New York it is then. Believe me, Chris, you would love it here. I would tell you, especially it's a cultural experience. I'll tell you that, Chris, certainly is.
I'd be afraid in America.
Albania, here we go. What'd you say, David?
I'd be afraid to let Chris loose in America.
No, I'd probably be a chaperone, Dave. That's, I'd be a chaperone at a bunch of different meetings, be a chaperone. Maybe the missus would then be my chaperone, Chris, and then I would be your chaperone. We'd probably actually just be walked on a leash, probably, so we wouldn't go too far away from each other.
We should bring Chris to the Broadway and just get him to sit there. You're shit. I know you are. You're shit.
Chris, Chris, again, whenever you're here, do let me know. Or Chris, even if you also go to, maybe like Texas or something like that, my favorite state in the US, feel free. I'd love to meet you there, because I love Mexican food, Chris. Any place where I can get Mexican food. That's what I would say. I'd be happy to meet you there. It's my favorite food, actually, Mexican food. And, maybe another bit of a fun fact, I would say I would eat Mexican food every single day of my life if I could. I really would. It's honestly just delicious. And everybody's loving the Albania. Everyone is loving the Harris.
Everyone's going rip of Albania.
That's just brilliant. If you probably haven't heard too much about the game, Still 1-0. It's actually been quite disappointing, I would say, just because of the wastefulness. I would say the wastefulness of the players on the pitch on PSG side, as well as Man City side. I mean, but we do know that Man City do waste a lot of chances. It does take them a while to be able to put something away, but that's what I would say. It's been a good game. It's been up and down, but I would just say, the wastefulness of certain players in front of goal has been quite sad, I would say.
Very underwhelming.
How does he miss that chance? Like it said.
Oh, Foden's on the savior.
Chris is saying, David and Jack, I'll take my flat cap with me, Harris Army. You have to, Chris. It's the most important thing to pack as well. I would say everybody, when we're heading off to Albania, that's how we'll be able to recognize each other. It's, the flat caps, it's just a sea of flat caps, David, in Albania. It's just brilliant. Just brilliant.
Imagine people walking around Tirana, looking around corners, waiting to see a flat cap, and then they just point at each other and they're like, flat cap army. You know what I mean? It'd be absolutely brilliant. Flat caps assemble.
David saying, Chris, all it takes is a whisper in Portuguese, and there it goes. Just I want a Tongi too, but not sure about the source. I guess they're having a conversation amongst themselves. But really, everybody putting a good smile on my face. This is, like we always said, very chill watch-alongs. Like we said, if you just need a laugh, just need maybe people to hang out with, I would say these watch-alongs have been brilliant. The last one was a huge success in that regard. I had a fantastic time. Time flew by in the last watch-along, and then this one, I would say, while this one actually hasn't been nearly as good of a game, Dave, as I would say that Borussia Dortmund game.
Shit.
Yeah, and so maybe we've been able to make up for kind of the poor performances by, just kept connecting with each other, hanging out with each other. So everybody, big yourselves up. Really big yourselves up.
There's two things I'm taking away from this one, and I'll probably be chuckling at them later on tonight if I get to play a bit of FIFA, but it'd be all the flat caps around Tirana. You know what I mean? Just looking out for flat caps to meet up with each other. And then the second one is Chris at Broadway. Oh, it's 2-0. Lionel Messi.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, but the second one is Chris at Broadway, chanting football songs at them. It'd be hilarious. But 2-0 to PSG. Messi with the goal. He's absolutely loving it. The whole team over there.
Oh, wow. That is a world-class finish. There. There it is, everybody. Probably, what most PSG fans have been waiting for is, maybe Messi coming through, and he's come through in maybe the most important of moments. And I would say, everybody, PSG needed these points. They did need these points. So there it is. Now they're probably sitting a bit more comfortably in their group. For sure. It's also quite a tough group that they actually find themselves in. Darius and I broke it down in our Champions League group predictions. I'm pretty sure most of you guys caught that. But in case you didn't, Darius and I a while back did break down our Champions League group predictions. And I would say this one is an absolutely tough group. And it's good to see maybe PSG finding a bit of space, maybe not having the pressure, as much on them now. And everybody's saying Messi, what a worldie. Actually, ridiculous finish.
Good link-up play with Mbappe.
Very good link-up play. And the sombrero cap army as well, Dave, in case we were to make a trip to Mexico. If we all were to meet up in Mexico, I mean, just sounds, I would just say, like I said, Mexico to even, certain states in the U.S., I would just say Mexican food is the best food in the world, in my opinion. It's just delicious. It really is delicious. I'd say
sorry.
No, Dave. I was about to move on to the Messi goal anyway.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, look, me and Jack are going to be looking into the possibilities of doing like reaction videos. So guys, put in what you want us to react to. Do you want us to react to like funny football chants? Just whatever it is, just let us know and put it in.
Yeah. And as well, the first maybe stage of those reaction videos, like I said, will be part of the scout reports I'll be coming out with, because the Kim Min-jae scout report, everybody, it did really, really well. And I'm actually quite surprised. It seemed like something that a lot of you guys really enjoyed, as well as people outside the channel that probably weren't subscribed also enjoyed. So I just figured, I maybe just increase maybe that, because I want to do what maybe you guys are interested in. And so, as well, I had a lot of fun making the Kim Min-jae. It was almost like giving like a book report, Dave, on a player to a degree, kind of like a biography report. So hopefully maybe people enjoyed it. But this time, I would do a bit of a, also highlight reaction video, which I would do for Kim Min-jae as well. That's what I would do for Kim Min-jae. But Jerry, big yourself up. Maybe one day, Jerry, you and I can maybe make a flat cap after dark sort of meet up in Mexico sometime. But big yourself up, Jerry. Really big yourself up.
Big up, Jerry.
Cuba 99 maybe predicting the future here, saying there 2-1 City, just like I told you, except for the goals apart. Maybe seeing the future a bit here or something. I'm not sure, but Cuba 99, that's not a bad prediction there. Not a bad prediction at all. Certainly not a bad prediction. Sterling, I'm seeing Sterling driving through the middle here, finding that's a harsh tackle there by Marco Verratti. Another harsh tackle again made by Marquinhos, probably touching Jack Grealish's hair, something that Harry Winks would be very jealous of, touching his hair, I would say.
Yeah.
There it is. But Marquinhos, and Marquinhos has very nice hair himself. Actually, I do like Marquinhos's hair. So, he probably isn't as jealous of it as maybe Harry Winks was. Par Miguel Escobardo saying that's the GOAT. Certainly is, I would say. I'm not really the biggest Messi fan in the world, but that's all I can say is that it's a world-class goal for Messi. It's a world-class goal. And despite me not being the biggest Messi fan, I've always thought he's the best player in the world. I've always thought he's the best player practically of all time. Of course, I wasn't witness to Maradona or anything, but I would just say Messi is unbelievable. And, always respect for him for sure.
I thought I was going to get to see my man Paredes come on. I'm very disappointed. They brought on Wijnaldum. Just back into around the grounds. Of course, PSG are now 2-0 up with Messi scoring. Jack, did you change the banner?
Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. Okay. Yeah, just got a little sidetracked, everybody. Do forgive me, everybody. But David's about to give you a report around the grounds from what's going on. Yeah, Dave.
Club Brugge are still 2-1 up at Leipzig. AC Milan are still holding in there at Atletico Madrid. Liverpool are 4-1 up at Porto, with Firmino getting Liverpool's fourth, and Taremi getting Porto's goal. Dortmund are still 1-0 up. Of course, Malin goal separating the two sides there against Sporting Lisbon. And Real Madrid and Sheriff is still 1-1 apiece with about 12 minutes to go.
I would just say, everybody, Taremi is someone I would keep an eye out on at Porto. I'm not sure how old he is. He might be a bit older than maybe I might have thought, but I might let's check his age right now. Might as well. I'm just going to check his age. Taremi from Porto is 29 years old. Yeah, I thought he was actually a bit older than maybe. But I would say he's actually done quite well over there. I think this last season and a half over at Porto is actually doing quite well over there. So Mehdi Taremi, I would just in the Champions League. Remember the name. Not a bad player by any means. Also an Iranian international as well, Dave, which is also, just fascinating. I would say the other Iranian international I would say to keep an eye out on, and this is only a fact you would get from Flat Cap Eurotalk, maybe just a bit of the knowledge coming through here, is Sardar Azmoun from Zenit St. Petersburg is someone I would really keep an eye on as well. Someone I'd actually probably wish we maybe invested in as a striker. It's really up and coming talent. I really, really think he's an absolute baller. That's Sardar Azmoun. I've just weirdly seen a lot of games of him in Champions League past, Europa League past, Dave. Just I would say maybe certain Iranian players are they can be real ballers. They can be real ballers, especially that Sardar Azmoun.
Who's the other guy from Russia that Spurs was linked with?
Sardar Azmoun. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Yeah. He's also an Iranian international, plays for Zenit. I think maybe the other Russian that we were linked with might have been that Nikola Vlasic at one point, who went to West Ham. He came from CSK Moscow. Not sure who else after that,
No,
but
I think you're right, because it was someone playing in Russia, but they weren't Russian. I just couldn't pronounce the name.
there was that Georgian international we were rumored
That's
with
the
who
one.
had that
That's the
that
one.
really long name, something Kurvanishkina or whatever. Honestly, Dave, too many syllables and also too little
Yeah,
vowels in his name. I would say that guy to be able to pronounce it, but maybe in the future, maybe that would also be again another scout report. Everybody, another scout report. Because I'd be happy to look at that guy. But I think he was from FC Krasnodar, Dave, if I'm not
that's
mistaken.
the
That
one.
guy
Yeah.
might have been from FC Krasnodar. So I think his name was like Georgios. A Georgian international. So really, I would say the Russian Premier League is actually not maybe a league to always be sniffed at. Some certain talents there for sure. There's definitely some good talents over there. Also, Artem Dajuba also from St. Petersburg. I've always loved him because he just looks like a Soviet era kind of striker type. So I would just say, sometimes the Russian Premier League can be quite entertaining. Miguel Escobardo saying Donnarumma is on fire. I mean, that guy sometimes even at one point Miguel, like one of the saves that he had from a Joao Cancelo shot, the way he was able to just not even parry it, he just saved it with both hands and caught it. It was honestly impressive, very, very impressive. Donnarumma at times in terms of just saving ability, I would say practically the best goalkeeper in the world. Just in terms of saving ability, is definitely the best goalkeeper maybe in the world at the moment, but maybe people could disagree with me. I'd probably still like to say that Neuer is still one of the GOATs, but I mean, Donnarumma can be ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I really like Donnarumma. I'm a big fan. He's a big guy as well. Feels the goal well, and I really like him as a goalkeeper. I really do. I have to say. And Liverpool are absolutely running right here. In Porto, 5-1 up now with Firmino
Oh,
getting his second.
oh, that's a bit disappointing. That's a bit disappointing for Porto. I do like Porto. Chris saying Steve Hitchen out, Jack and Icky, and I mean, all I can say is maybe if Levy wants to station me in Russia, Croatia, maybe a bit of a former nation of like Slovenia, Montenegro, wherever he needs me. I would say wherever he needs me, he can put me there, and I'd be happy to find the young talent there. Be happy to just practically just park myself anywhere in those leagues, because I would love to be able to be a scout somewhere, maybe abroad. That would just be unbelievable. That would be probably, I would say, the second best job in the world, Dave. That would be the second best job in the world, I would say. But there it is. Maybe if Steve Hitchen or Levy just wants to station me out somewhere, maybe a bit obscure, maybe where no other scout wants to go, that's where I'd be willing to go, Chris. That's where I'd be willing to go.
Geez, some of these PSG's attackers, they're so lazy. They're just offside. Like, get yourself onside and you can be slipped through, like.
It's just when you do think about it, Dave, maybe that is sometimes the problem with the Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe situation. Is just a lot of them, they can get away. They've gotten away with that, with their previous clubs and whatnot. It certainly is the case, but PSG at times, the class does prevail. As much as I would say it hasn't been a pretty performance by any means by PSG,
No.
the class does prevail at the same time. The class can prevail.
You can't argue with that. Sure, they're 2-0 up, you know what I mean? And I'd say actually City probably have had the better chances.
If this was a yellow card for that, Messi practically threw himself into Gabby Jesus there. Don't understand that. That's just being the best player in the world, winning that foul, and stopping play. Don't even understand what Gabby Jesus even did there. But there it is, everybody. That's just the foul that Messi can always win. But yeah, everybody, maybe do you think that PSG is maybe a team that's still in contention, I would say, to win the Champions League this season? Because I don't know, they could slip up, but they've done this before where they just continue to, they scratch their way, to a semifinal. It seems like, they're always able to manage to get there, but it seems like even that's still the same story this season, Dave, where they don't really have the best of performances and they just find a way. They do find a way, but with such a star-studded team, even last season as well, such a star-studded team, you would just think that, they would make it a bit easier on themselves. That's all I would say.
Yeah, it's like they don't want to or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe just the occasion gets to them. Maybe it's also the level of play of Liga. Maybe sometimes, it's hard to adjust. I'm not sure. I've never really had a good answer for it, really. But do let me know if everybody still thinks that maybe PSG could win it this season. I might actually hedge my bets and say they won't. That probably now would, convince them probably to do it. Usually any prediction I make is going to be the opposite of what happens. So I would just say they probably could, but also great little bit of shithousery from Poch there. I would say a good little bit of
I think I have
shithousery
an
on the
update
touchline.
from around the grounds, Jack. I have an update from around the grounds. Sheriff have gone 2-1 up at Real Madrid with Till scoring on the 89th minute.
This is insane. Everybody, Sheriff FC will go 6 points.
Atletico Madrid have equalized at AC Milan, Antoine Griezmann.
There it is. Antoine Griezmann maybe winning back a bit of the Atletico faithful, Dave. He actually was not well received by the Atletico fans. He was not well received, apparently, when he came back. So I did find that interesting. But there you go, everybody. Sheriff FC, 6 points potentially, for them. They, like I said, if they were to make it out of the group, it would just be ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous. Shakhtar Donetsk. Memory, Dave. Yeah, what was that? A 2-0, I think it was, or something. It was just, a pretty complete performance by them as well. Jesus. Wow. What Messi's goal, not even a deflection at all. What a finish.
I think Madrid will be calling for the manager after this one.
Maybe so, Dave. Maybe so. They haven't been doing too terribly in the league, though, you would say, actually. They haven't been doing too terribly in the league, but that is shocking. It's just, again, Sheriff FC, everybody, not a team to be messed around with, it seems like. Not a team to be messed around with. Also, maybe, I would say, who knows, a manager that could even be, an up-and-coming manager, I would say, it's honestly ridiculous. Or even potentially as well, a lot of players there that you would think that, nobody really knows about that. Might be some real talent over there at Sheriff FC as well that maybe a lot of people should look at. But
Jeez, one more win, and you'd say that they'd be out of the group comfortable.
Oh, I mean, I don't think there would be any question that they would be out of the group with 9 points. That usually is the recipe, Dave, is getting 9 points. Even 7 points you can get out.
Yeah. It's an amazing story for them. First time ever reaching the group stage as well. And to imagine them winning the 2 games and then winning one of them at the Bernabeu. They probably would have said, they might have fancied themselves maybe taking a pint at home and just sitting back and whatever else. But going to the Bernabeu and taking 3 points would be huge for them. But look, it just goes to show, like, even you don't even have to have the talent sometimes. You just need to have the hard work in a team, all fighting for the one cause,
Yeah, that's probably it, Dave. And then potentially as well, just, a bit of the, I don't know, it's wearing the badge, just certain things that have been a bit foreign to some of our players as well, David, just playing with pride, putting everything out on the line, like you said, working for each other, teamwork, a lot of things that are a bit foreign to even our players at the moment. Sanuska saying, I think PSG would be under major scrutiny if they didn't perform with the players they've got. Yeah, you would then just think that, does financial fair play? Of course, we've seen this season, it's not a thing, but then you would even say, at the end of the day, it probably comes down to something else other than, buying the best players in the world. Maybe there is something else a bit more to it that, it takes to win a Champions League. Sanuska, I do agree. Para Miguel Escobardo, also our correspondent in Madrid, telling us that Sheriff has scored again. Big yourself up, Para Miguel. And Para Miguel saying actually that PSG will win it regardless. So there it is. And Chris saying Bayern Munich will win the Champions League. So there it is. Maybe
I have to say they look like the best team in it so far.
Bayern Munich. I think that's always the case. So when you think about
it, and they still have a gear to go up again. They could have absolutely ripped Barcelona to shreds.
They certainly could, but it always seems like that's the case with Bayern for me, is that they always sometimes look like the best team in it, and then they find a way to slip up. I think the reason with Bayern, Dave, for me is that they play such progressive football, like such attack, like what we talk about, attacking football. They play such attacking football that in the Champions League sometimes that you need to be a bit more conservative, and that's how they sometimes get caught out against like teams like PSG. See PSG just sat back against them, just unleash the pace of Mbappe and just hurt them. And so maybe that's what Bayern maybe will learn from, but I doubt they will. It's just how they play. They like to play dominating football. But Chris going for Bayern Munich to win it all. PSG is for Para Miguel Escobardo. If they don't win it with Poch, then I'd be amazed. Yeah, I agree, Golden Cock. I do agree with that. I certainly do agree with that. And then Mr. Simon, I like this comment saying there are teams that will outwork PSG. Don't think PSG will win the Champions League. Yeah, there definitely are teams I would say that could outwork them. I do agree with that, actually. I would say majority of teams could outwork them. But some of those midfielders, Idrissa Gana especially, that guy can cover every blade of grass on a pitch, that guy. Idrissa Gana he is absolutely immense to watch. Absolutely immense to watch. I really, really, really like that player. I've always really liked that player. So I would say he can do a lot for that team. He certainly can do a lot for that team. And even David said before, Leandro Paredes, someone that's been sitting on the bench the whole time as well, who's done a job for them multiple times and has been actually a bit of an unsung hero, you might say, at PSG in years past as well. But Mr. Simon, I actually really like that comment. Really do like that comment. Sheriff just shot Real. There goes Philip Pretty. Who shot the sheriff? There it is. Seems like Sheriff is the one that's doing the shooting here. Seems like Sheriff is the one that's doing the shooting here for sure. Philip, really big yourself up. Sheriff wins it. Sheriff wins it, apparently.
It's over, is it?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
I thought there was another like 30 seconds, 40 seconds left.
Maybe, or maybe they're just calling it early. Maybe they're just calling it early, Dave. And Kuva99 saying, Liverpool for me, quietly slipping under the radar again, and that'll suit them just fine. Kuva, this is what I said about my Premier League prediction. I had Liverpool as actually finishing second, and more, as much as it pains me, I do feel quite smart about it, I would say, in that regard. Of all the predictions I've made, probably the one I feel most confident about, actually, is I just feel like Liverpool, they kind of have slipped under the radar in that regard. I don't know if they're going to do too well in the Champions League, Kuva, but I would say that about the league. I've just said that I don't see them winning the league title. I just see them just doing very, very well, though. Like, I think it's something where maybe a lot of people kind of forgot, like the fact that they made the Champions League with the injuries and whatnot. It just says a lot about Jurgen Klopp, says a lot about that squad, and just, full squad, full strength, very hard team to deal with. And also Jurgen Klopp.
The game is over at Real Madrid. It's over.
There it is.
2-1 Sheriff.
Atletico has a penalty as well, apparently. So Atletico might actually be able to cloak and dagger this one, Parra Miguel, to be able to cloak and dagger it. Let's go for Simeone. Let's go. Hopefully the suit isn't sweating too much. Hopefully, hasn't perspirated through the suit too much in this one. I know he's always, the calmest guy in the building, but, probably in a match like this, he's probably quite intense. But do let me know, Parra Miguel, how it goes. Ridiculous. Sheriff winning 2-1. That is ridiculous.
2-1. What a result. What a result.
No, I can't get I shot the sheriff song stuck in my head. Apologize, James. I know how that feels. Really do apologize, James. Hopefully I can come up with another song reference for you.
Club Brugge are still 2-1 up. Dortmund are still winning 1-0. And I don't know if the penalties be taken in Atletico Milan game is still 1-1.
Certainly, yeah. There it is, everybody. There it is. But Sheriff FC, everybody. Not a team to be messed with. 6 points off the bounce in 2 matches, 6 points. I mean, if they were to get another 3 points, like David said, I think that would just be instant qualification. I think there would just be, just certain, I would say, for them to go into the next rounds if they were to get 9 points. So honestly, unbelievable. Honestly, unbelievable what's going on over there in Moldova.
Liverpool game is up. They've won 5-1 in Porto.
I'd say maybe we picked the wrong game, everybody. It seemed like this would have been the best game on paper, but maybe it's just the oil and whatnot probably just, corrupted this game. But I don't know, everybody. Maybe next time we'll pick the Sheriff FC game as something to watch. It just seems like Sheriff FC know how to put up a good match.
Their next game is Inter Milan, isn't it?
That'd be interesting. Inter Milan have also started off the campaign quite strong as well, though. So must be said. So that could be a fascinating one.
Drawn the next tonight. Drawn the nets tonight for them.
Oh, wow. There it is. So Sheriff FC, top of the group. Top of the group.
2 points clear, top of the group.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Any other games over? Club Brugge have won at Leipzig. They have won 2-1.
Jesse Marsch out the door. Get Jesse Marsch out the door. Get him out the door. Honestly, out of his depth. I would say out of his depth, it seems like he just I think Leipzig, they have all the talent in the world. They've made a lot of fantastic signings this summer. I actually gave them as well, for Bundesliga. I thought Leipzig had the best window out of any Bundesliga team. And he's not doing well over there, Jesse Marsch, the American. So,
PSG is finished.
2-0 as well. There it is.
2-1
Man City with
Atletico
no
Madrid.
goals.
Suarez with the penalty on 90 plus 7 minutes. 2-1 Atletico Madrid. They've stolen the win.
How many 90
And
plus 7
Dortmund.
minutes have I seen for Atletico this season? Every single time Atletico, it's like plus 10 minutes extra time as well, or
And
stoppage
Dortmund
time.
have won 1-0 as well. Borussia Dortmund have won 1-0. So there you are. European games over.
There it is, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us for this watch along. It's honestly has been fantastic just opening up with you guys, maybe just connecting with you guys on a more personal level, but as well also, hearing my correspondence across the ground as well, giving me all the info on Champions League. It's honestly, you guys been a huge, huge, huge help. Please join David and I later for our Stats with Jack kind of version of what went wrong, with the North London Derby. Dave, anything to plug for that? But everybody as well, maybe I'll just quickly say before I let David plug that, please, anybody, please drop a like, please drop a share maybe for this channel as well. Anybody that's been maybe new to this as well, please feel free to maybe hit that big shiny red button down below, hit that notification bell. Also, everybody, stay tuned for the scout reports. Kong-In Lee or Lee Kong-In is going to be joining me for a bit of a scout report, going to be reacting to the highlight videos, reacting to his stats, to his attributes, just making a full synopsis of Lee Kong-In. So everybody, scout reports are coming out very, very, very soon. So feel free to tune in for that one. But David, what are we going to be seeing later on the Irish Hotspur?
Yeah, I've moved it to 10:15. Basically, what we're going to be seeing, guys, is a breakdown of the North London Derby, a breakdown of where it all went wrong, and how Mikel Arteta out-taught Nuno in the tactics department, and basically it'll be very good to see the visuals. Jack has it all clearly marked out what you guys need to be seeing and where it all went wrong. Basically, what went wrong in the North London Derby, it's covered by Jack here tonight. 10:15, guys, in about 15 minutes time. So make sure you get over there and tune in.
There it is, everybody. It's going to be something a bit similar to maybe what you saw Jamie Carragher unfortunately give us on Match of the Day, but only have about 15 minutes. We'll just be seeing you guys very, very, very soon. Thank you so much for joining us on Flat Cap Army for the Flat Cap Euro Talk Champions League watch along. But that'll be all. That'll be all for tonight, everybody. Please drop a like. Please drop a notification bell if you don't want to miss another watch along like this one. And Dave and I will be seeing you.